Saludito, saludito. Voy a estar en un directo, no por mucho, pero voy a hacer todo lo posible de extender lo más que pueda el directo de Call of Duty League, corillo. Este es el campeonato. Bueno, estamos empezando. Este es el Major One de mucho que va a haber este año. Estamos en la final del Major One. Todo el que pueda darse la cita por ahí, compartir el directo, lo voy a agradecer un montón, corillo. Dímelo, López, dímelo, King. La que hay, corillo. Gracias, brother. Gracias por darte la vueltita, López. ¿Sabes cómo es esto? ¿Qué es la que hay, Alex? Dímelo.
Where Optic Texas fights for their life and for a spot in the top 3 against Minnesota Rocker. But the day kicked off several hours before that with our challenger scene finally concluding with an epic championship. Welcome in, everybody. Chris Puckett here alongside Studdy, Alley Cat, and Nameless. And Studdy, you had a good buddy from your 8th lobbies playing for some real cash.
That's insane, man. I've known the kid since he was 13. And, like, it makes me a little bit emotional, right? Because, like, he puts all his passion into the game, and obviously he doesn't walk away with the W, but he puts himself in that position to be who he wants to be in. I just gotta, like, just keep on supporting that young man, because this is only the start for him.
Being a dad makes you soft, and I love it.
I know, right? I'm a dad.
Right? He's the man. You know, he had a great performance there, and then also Face Black. You know, you got some former pros in there performing, playing really, really well. And Asim, a community favorite, goes off in the final to get the W. Challengers just popping, man. If you aren't hip, make sure you start tuning into these guys.
Allie, real quick.
Yes.
Out of the Face Black players, we saw them all in the Pro League last year.
Yes.
Who's the first one to come back up?
Ooh, that's a really tough question. The first one to come back up.
Who gets poached first?
It might be Kremp, simply because he's a little bit newer, and so because he was in the league last year as like his rookie year, I feel like he would be the first one to be like, oh, he didn't get that much of a chance. Let's bring him on back up.
Well, if you've been here in Boston, you heard the rumors around the bar. Some teams are already considering some moves, so it could get crazy after today. But let's catch you up with everything that's gone down leading up to this moment. Yesterday, a big day. We were in the
Texas, Corillo, va a jugar contra Optic. Ahora, so es el primer juego.
Yeah, they've been unbelievable, right? The turnaround that they've
Para
had
aquellos
since the
fanáticos
holiday break,
de Optic,
so well, and they get to land,
como yo,
things just seem to click, especially in the search and destroy game mode.
Esto va a estar bueno.
Four of their last 5, and they had to get it done in search last night, and they answered the call. Man, I'm just so impressed with some of the individuals on this team, right? Like Linz, he's got to be the front runner right now for Rookie of the Year. He has been the guy getting them out of every tough situation, and they don't have a weak game mode. They've been working on their map pool literally while they're in this tournament, and they've had players who start off slow and then turn up like Vivid. So everything that you've needed to see, you have seen thus to this point.
And I think for me, the player that's really surprised me for this Minnesota Rocket squad, it has to be accuracy. Like, he turned out to be a totally different player. We're talking about multiple different years playing with that tactical input on your controller. So that means you don't have that slide cancel. Yep. He's moving on the map right now, and he's playing a lot quicker for his team, sneaking and hitting routes. He's doing everything he needs to make sure he made it to Championship Sunday.
Lamar on Championship Sunday, we saw this last year. He did it with the Surge, taking his team from 7th seed all the way to a grand final. Today, though, he runs in to Optic Texas. And Pred, he is putting up some career numbers here in Boston. Oh, yeah. Alley Cat walked me through the chaos of yesterday.
And this is what we've been waiting for, right? We've been waiting for Pred to have those dominant takeover maps. So we saw it yesterday on the sub-base hardpoint that, by the way, almost ended on the game clock. He dropped 40 kills, and not to overshadow, Kenny was right behind him with 39. Now this is the high-octane plays that we were waiting for from Optic Texas. So they're looking incredible. Search and destroy could use some help, though.
Chacho, esa gente guaya, papi. Esa gente guaya. Hace falta un equipo, mano, un equipo boricua que represente ahí en esa liga, mano, gorillo. Un equipo boricua que represente, mano, el Call of Duty League.
I disagree. I don't think we need to see more out of Dash. He's been great. I mean, I love you know, the evolution of this Optic team, especially in Hardpoint. They've been unreal in that game mode, and it's just like there's only so many kills on the map.
He won both
the HP, so it didn't really matter, and it's because of what you were hoping for as an Optic fan. Seeing
Aquí se guaya,
and go off. He's being enabled to do that. They want him to do that, and Dashy has taken a back seat, and it's led to some great stats. I mean, they're number 3 in breaking, number 3 in holding. They've been unreal. This team's nasty.
Selfless play, the evolution of Optic Texas Hardpoint. Love to see it. Optic's not the only team in action, though. Today we got to highlight, of course, some of the big dogs. Atlanta will be facing off against Toronto. Unfortunately, though, Surge will not be a part of the action. They fell to Optic in that series, and now you see it's just the 4 teams on that screen remaining.
Yeah, unfortunately for Surge, it was the respawns that ended up hurting them in the end, but I will say I'm happy to see that they've kind of locked up those search and destroys here during the major, because that's the sneak peek we got at the beginning of the qualifiers if they were going to be a search and destroy team. But I don't think we could have asked for a better Sunday. We've got Atlanta FaZe and Toronto Ultra and Optic Texas all making it to Sunday with one underdog in Minnesota Rocker.
The big surprise on the weekend, New York Subliners coming in with a top 3 seed. They went out in 9th. We saw Miami Heretics, a top 4 seed. They went out in 9th through 12th. Here's how things have shaped up after 3 days. 4 teams remain. Your top 8 has been filled out as well, and all of these teams are earning points, Jay.
You need these points, especially if you're the teams on the lower echelon of the bracket. Those 9 through 12 teams, they're fighting. So that's why you see Vegas Legion. They walk away with at least 15. Same thing with Carolina. But I think the big thing for the Gorillas is taking that 30 points. They were almost really close. 1 map away from getting a top 4 placing, but they definitely came and turned some heads.
They're solid, man. Honestly, I think LAG, they had a pretty good performance after getting bopped, you know? Like, they regressed a lot. They had to figure it out here, get it out the mud, and they made it happen. Those points are going to be huge as well.
Yeah. What I love about this morning's matchup, not only are you playing for your spot remaining in the bracket, but you also double your money. You've already guaranteed yourself 30 grand. You make 60K if you win 3 games in this next match. So a little financial incentive. Let's talk about 2 teams who are already guaranteed that 60 grand, though. That's Toronto and Atlanta. Toronto, arguably the scariest team in Respawn right now.
Draco, papi. A Optic, mano.
After what we
Yo
saw
voy a
from
Optic.
Atlanta FaZe versus Optic in the
100%
hardpoints, I
Optic,
think
mano.
we've seen
Aunque
the
le
answer to
den
the question
palo
you just asked.
y
Toronto is the best Respawn team in the game
cosones
right
al
now.
equipo.
They look
De
unstoppable.
vez en
Everybody's
cuando.
so comfortable with each other on the map, and I know Alex
Pero
would love to watch
FaZe
this
está bien pillo, mano. Dímelo, Johnny Venco, papi. Saludos. FaZe Clan está bien pillo este año, mano. Tengo temor de que posiblemente sean campeones. Tengo temor.
Insight looks very comfortable on it. Toronto Ultra, at first heading into the weekend, I knew they were going to make it this Sunday, but I didn't know if they'd be able to contest for that championship. Well, now they're looking like a team that might be able to take home this win.
This is the showdown everyone's been talking about since the bracket.
Dale una níquel a esos que hablan.
Atlanta, the favorite in the top. Toronto, the
Ellos son el host, papi. Ellos son el host.
Epic showdown of some ARs in this gunfight.
Man, you know what it is, man. Scrap is the rookie of the year. Last year, 1.22 overall. He's been taking over ever since the team has been formed. It's like Envoy's an enabler for this guy. He's always
Dímelo mal,
gonna put up
papi.
those numbers. But you see Draza on the other side. Now, with that trio of FaZe, he's been everything for this roster. Even though he has a .97 in hard.
Dímelo, Rundra. Saludos, saludos.
Yesterday by losing those close
Buenas
games.
tardes a todos por ahí,
Everything
corillo.
else is stellar for this young man.
Draza's been on stage. He's had some fantastic numbers here in Boston to go with it. Is he the missing link that FaZe needed to win back-to-back Boston?
Papi, este equipo está bien pillo. Está bien pillo este equipo, mano. Está bien pillo. Yo no sé qué van a hacer en verdad, pero está bien pillo, corillo. FaZe Clan está bien pillo. Ya eso, cabrón. Ya eso, brother. Mira eso, brother. Spawn trap.
It's been a lot off the back of Simp making these insane unreal plays in search and destroy and control. So for Draza, I'm hoping with the incentive of having Scrap on the other side of the stage, we might hear some barking.
I will say, I feel like, you know, yesterday, that was a Simp Legacy series. I mean, he's had a ton of great series, but he was going off.
Diablo, brother.
Everybody loves to say statistic. You know, they were 11-0 in clutch situations coming into this tournament. They had a lot of close hard points, Jay. There was like 6 hard points they won by 30 points or less, and we sort of saw the other side of that, right? Like they're top 6, like 6th, 7th in almost every hard point category, but what happened was it went towards Optic.
Lo vi poquito, pero lo vi, mano. Fue que llegué tarde a casa, mano.
Best hard point team in the game. It could be a reason to be stressed.
I wonder if this crowd wants to see another Atlanta FaZe Optic rematch potentially in that elimination finals or even a grand finals. Here how everything shakes out as we kick things off.
Me gustaría ver el de FaZe, estoy más emocionado por ver el de FaZe contra Toronto, porque en esta parte quisiera ver que FaZe Clan ganara. En verdad, Toronto tiene unos bocas sueltas por ahí que en verdad no lo soporto, corillo. Yo no soporto a Scrap. Yo no lo soporto, el chamaquito, ¿verdad? Bien hechón. So, en esta parte quisiera que ganara FaceCon, ¿verdad? Y a ver a Pred. La bestia. Sí, por un punto, mano. Vi que ganó por un punto, brother. Sí, solamente voy a quedarme hasta donde esté Face, corillo. Ya los otros partidos, pues no voy a estar. Hasta que se termine el de Face Clan voy a estar. De ahí en adelante, pues, en directo lo voy a cortar. Saludito, corillo. Somos 18 personas en Kick, 1 en YouTube y 4 en Twitch, corillo. Recuérdense, si alguno de ustedes tiene de las otras cuentas, tanto YouTube y de Twitch, también pueden pasar por allá, dejar ese follow. Y si quieren volver para Kick, para atrás, pueden hacerlo, corillo. Vamos a empezar a seguirnos por la otra plataforma. Vamos para encima, corillo. Esto se va a poner bueno. Minnesota Rocks.
So able to push on up. You have 3 players off his spawn. Maybe a chance here. Accuracy.
Linz is ripping Boston apart. Boston to close this lead. And Linz is going to just continue to push space for the Zawolabobs. Wow.
Maybe come straight through as well. Awakening versus the world, and he's coming up with the dub. And if you can transition this to New Hill, Awakening is trying to put in absolute work. Slashes up next. He gets
Duro, papi. Durísimo, mano. Duro. Creo que lo he escuchado. El Kenny, Fred, Dashi, Chatsi. Mira, cambiaron el de esto. Duro. Uno de los mejores movements dentro del juego en el área de modo Warfare 2 lo tenía Chatsi. No sé si aún lo tiene. No lo he visto mucho jugar después en modo Warfare 3, pero no sé si aún lo tiene, que ahora mejoraron el movimiento. Me imagino que sí.
We start with 4 teams. We end the day with just 1 remaining on that stage as they hoist the trophy and take home the $150,000. Welcome back into the MGM Music Hall, where Optic and Minnesota are ready to go. So we're not going to talk about the players. We're not going to talk about the teams. We're getting our predictions locked in. I have to go first. I'm going Optic Texas to
contra Toronto. Contra Toronto.
If Minnesota's going to win this, they got to count on some French folks to be huge titans once again, right?
Oh yeah, what is it, like the top 3 Frenchmen in the world? It's Napoleon, Hydra, and now Lynn. So if you're gonna try to win,
voy a hacer Judas, pero voy a Face, lamentablemente. ¿Quién crees que gane? Acho, esto es como el básquet, gorillo. Esto es como el básquet, esto es suerte y verdad, papi. Cualquier error que tomes, papi, puede cortarte el juego completo.
You know I want to save us? Gigawake. I got Minnesota, baby.
Aquí todos son buenos, ¿tú me entiendes? Aquí todos son buenos. Va a determinar rotación, los callouts, los gunfights. Son muchas cosas. Hacho, sí, los mancos somos nosotros, literal. Cario, los Face están montados. Sí, papi, están montados. Vamos, muchachos.
Oh man, it's been a while since we've seen the championship Sunday whites, and man, do they look good. Greenwall is feeling strong, but they got to get through the underdog of the weekend. and the Minnesota Rocker. It's time to stack it brick by brick, but they gotta take out the opponents. Let's go, Blaze.
Que tú tienes más Goni que Chotzi.
If anybody
Yeah.
can take him out,
Cojonao.
it's going to be these Vikings from the north ready to take down the green wall. Getting ready to rock the stage on Championship Sunday. It's the Minnesota Rocker. We got Lens, Accuracy, Big Wake, and Vivid. Minnesota Rocker, let's go.
The boys have been frying. Old man Lamar's been taking over in Search and Destroys. Vivid, Big Wake, and Lens have also been going off in the respawns. They've had a hell of a run so far. Why stop now? They got the green wall in front of them. Let's get it done, Blaze.
Why stop now? It'd be the best underdog
Ah, sí,
story
Hydra de los New York Subliners.
It's time to see
Él
one
es
more
duro,
team
él es duro.
home. And to take us along this ride, Merc, Maven, let's roll.
Here we go, baby. Let's have some fun. This is going to be a blast. So this Optic team looking to make a run. This Rocker squad, how incredible a story has this been? You know, you look back before the break, they're like 0-3. You're thinking maybe this team has got to make a change. They're looking real lousy, and they have turned it around with the swiftness. It's like you have a great story like Carolina, like they make a change and improve. This Rocker team has grinded through it. They found some time. They've gotten better.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they just did not look on the same page at all,
No,
right? We
no.
casted some of their early games, but coming back from that break, I don't know, they worked out their system. Obviously, this is what Accuracy does. That's what he brings to the table. But I just think in general, Lens has been so good for them. And then you're looking at Awakening and Vivid, and as soon as they start to find some consistency, I mean, they've just been so good in clutch as well, but getting better in every single game mode. Where the other side of the stage for Optic, it's just a story around their respawns have been fantastic, especially those hard points. Can we find some success today in Search and Destroy?
Yeah, no, 100%. Like that's going to be where you're going to, you think, find your upset if you are going to be the Rocker side. It's been hit or miss, obviously, for Optic. You take a look at our overall best of 5. Was there anything that jumps off the page that sets up for an upset for Rocker?
I mean, I don't think there's really too much here. I think it's a pretty solid map set for both of these squads. Again, Optic, one thing we talked about is their map set is really expanded. You saw Invasion Control come into play, but Invasion Hardpoint for them, I mean, really all hardpoints. They've been 5-0 here at Major 1. On the other side, 1-0 on Invasion at the Major for Minnesota Rocker.
It's like you got back to like that early online success where you're outscoring your opponents by 60 or frying. They go on a bit of a
Let's
skid
go,
at the beginning of
empezó
the
esto,
Major, but they
gorillo.
regain that hard point. Beauty. Here at the Major as Kenny gets things going with the opener. We'll stick with Shotzi for now, but we're right back to where Kenny had one of the better plays on the year yesterday. It's truly terrific stuff with the triple he was able to find.
Yeah, I think if you are a Rocker trying to find some success, the player I'm looking at here, I feel like Vivid, because if Vivid is playing well, he can just be such a difference maker to match the pace of someone like Shotzi, someone like Fred.
It just seems like, you know, you sort of talked about Vivid and Awakening and the consistency, right? Like, if they are playing at their best, do you have a chance to maybe take a respawn?
Buena. Buenísima.
If they're not, I don't know if you have the
Vamos,
firepower
let's
to
go.
do it.
No, 100%, yeah.
Tienen que empezar a rotar.
Step
Vamos.
on up, and can Lens keep consistent, but a nice 31-point start here for Minnesota.
Buena.
Right, it snaps onto Vivid the second, but there with the rival able to find it. As you have this P2
Tienen
setup
el otro
here.
hard point.
Accuracy on the hill. Good time for Rocker. Vivid push on out. 5 start, trying to find number 6.
Yeah.
There's the cruise missile, and this is what he can do.
I think this is something you really want to see if you're a Rocker fan early on, is some success for Vivid. He looks like, I swear to God, the best or the worst player in the league at times. I don't know what I'm going to get from him, but when he is dialed in, he is truly a special talent in this league with the pace that he can play at. And nice centering there, but it's not quite the gunny to take out Shotzi. He gets up to 7-2 though, Vivid. Throwing blows early.
go.
Yeah, I mean, this is already fantastic. You get, what, early 25 seconds here if you are Rocker. You
Let's
already
go.
have P3 rotation kind of locked in. So Optic, they're going to have to fight up the street, find the scrap time. Lynn's already set up here at the pillars, trying to find
Buenísima,
the
Fred.
third. You
Buenísima.
already see the top left. Kenny shot today. Got to get going here. See, they're both starting slow here in map 1.
And I think if you're going to like get a win if you're Rocker, and maybe you don't get the best performance out of Awakening and Vivid, is you catch Optic Texas one of those slow starts that we've seen them have in a couple of series, right? Like they come out real flat against a team like Vegas Legion. Can you come in and shock them into map 1? That might be where you got to find it.
Yeah, an early break here, opportunity here for Optic. They find a couple of kills through the middle of the map. first player going to be on it. It will be Shotzi, but it's big. Linz 8 and 4, then Awakening finding 2 more. So there we go. They deal with that first push, all map control over to Rocker.
Yeah, I mean, if you told Rocker Shotzi was going to be 1 and 8 to start the game, they probably think they've got a bit of an edge, and they certainly do. 30 seconds remaining on this point. Chance to get up over the 100-point mark, take a significant advantage in this one. Vivid still flowing and finding kills. Him and Linz leading the way on their side, but now a flurry of kills for Optic Texas. You'll be able to chain together 3 in a row, but the accuracy that wins the fight inside the hard point, wins a one-on-one, still accruing time for Rocker.
Yeah, then look what happens here for Rocker. So, I mean, you kind of take this because you flip spawns out.
Yeah.
So you get close spawns at P4 for the next one for Optic, but I mean, you're already thinking about Palace, right? Even if you give up 40 to 50 points, you're gonna have a major lead, but you already see Vivid 3 in a row starting to snap once again as he's able to find that double. But yeah, Optic here, you're gonna see Shotzi maybe thinking about going on a long route. He's gonna do just that so early on.
And I guess I'm just already thinking, if you're Rocker and you know you're where you've been getting your W's is through search and destroy. Like, you've got a lead like this in hardpoint. You Palace coming up. You're thinking already like, this is one we've got to win. We need to take this map 1, come in and shock them.
Yeah, Shotzi able to find 1 on that rotation, but does get traded on out. And you might give up a full 60 here, but it will be for full Palace control. So a couple of more players going to try to get aggressive. Linz able to find 1, but Dash down, finding this time. So now, all eyes over to Palace.
Now, Optic obviously have been one of the best breaking teams, though. It's like
esta gente está en el hard point.
To get through, maybe Shock to get into Palace. I mean, yeah, yesterday versus FaZe, one of the scrappier Palace hard points I've ever seen. Do you have a chance to create some chaos like that?
You already do.
Who's there? Shotzi getting inside, turning some heads, trying to make some plays. What's he going to be able to do? Could he get a second one? Able to spawn,
buena,
slide with a pistol. What do you see on the map, Joey?
Bye.
Spawns all the way out. You have numbers here if you are the green wall. Linz turns this into a 2-on-2, but some close spawns here for Optic. Linz with another one.
Buena. Buena, Kenny. Buenísima, Kenny.
Players here for Optic trying to find that break. Awakening finds the early time, but all eyes over to Big Wake.
Buena, Kenny. Buena, Kenny. Buena, Kenny. Buena, Kenny, cabrón.
For Cannon. That's that moment that you can't
Buena, Kenny, papi.
Yes, it's terrific for Optic Texas, but that is a blow. You're not looking at a tie game instead of pushing this out to an 80-90 point lead again for Rocker.
And then you also awaken that 5th player for Optic, the crowd getting behind them, that energy starting to flow here inside the venue. But yes, much needed, and I just think it starts with Shotzi finding that space early on. Usually, most of the time, to break P5, you gotta pass the 50-yard line. That does not happen. But over towards P1, Rocker, they're gonna settle things down, find 3 kills as we go to our next set.
There's been a couple times where I feel like Shotzi's like gotten loose in a Palace hardpoint, but he's been by himself. The teammates haven't been able to get there. Like, he's found some freedom.
Buena.
Before, but this time, the fact he's able to get a kill, stay alive.
Buena, Shotzi.
Oh, he's melting.
Yeah, he is.
Buena, cabrón. Buena.
This is away with 13 HP. This is the guy that started out.
Buena, cabrón.
14 scoreline doesn't look that great.
Dímelo, Hansel.
He has brought it back massively within this map 1.
But he just walks up and literally wins the first one-on-one, and it's on the hill,
oh,
right?
Shit.
Just picking them apart. Some great shots out of Dashi. As Optic now with a 15-point lead. Back in the driver's seat. Vivid get a spawn on up, starts to rotate over towards P2. The rest of the players
Buena, Pred.
But Pred and Shotzi, SMG duo locking it down.
And now it's starting to feel like, you know, Rocker was shooting sure, but more than it was a slow start for Optic Texas, and now they are waking up and beginning to roar. Lead up to 30. Next hard point.
Diablo, que la hace en el cholo, papi.
He's still 18 and 12. He's not slowed down for this Rocker side. Can he get across? He's able to get to the tractor.
Now this is a chance here if you are Rocker to take advantage of this. You have P3 spawns, but on the pinch, Pred was
Buena. No.
Accuracy, the last player here.
Lamar?
Shit.
This guy has given Optic some nightmares in the past. We all know about that moment. Vivid gonna use the cruise to try to give them map control. It's gonna connect onto one, but there's nobody on the hill, and you are flipped if you are Minnesota Rocker. This is not the position you want to be in.
Now, a great job here with some massive gunfight victories if you are Optic Texas to keep them out of the point. Dashi still hitting just 7 left in the clip, but he's taking 2 to 3 down with what he had. Up to 16 and 12 now.
Buena. Perfecto. Fucking go, baby. Papi,
And with that
Texas,
flip,
with Texas.
I mean, you get some successful time here. If you're
Buena.
Optic, you should be winning this match.
You have a chance here to win it with a full 60.
Vamos, ya estamos en el segundo, en
Vivid
el,
gonna be the first
en el tercer
player
hard
pushed
point.
on up for Minnesota Rocker. 192 here for Optic Texas. What a turnaround since that Palace Hill. That break has given them all the momentum in this map. Here comes the break opportunity for Rocker.
Buena.
You have accuracy working up the street, but Shotzi's ready for it. All
go,
the one-on-ones going to Optic.
Just lying prone, lying in wait, winning your
Oh,
ones.
buena.
210, now up, 40 remaining. You can win it here. So this makes it very stressful if you're Rocker. You have a couple different seconds here, and like you have a chance to
shit.
make a play for the hard point. That's a
Casi
frustrating.
mata.
Takes it off his back, but you're
para.
still up and inside. Rocker's got to send it, otherwise they're losing the hard point here. You get a break, you can test it.
Oh! Oh!
So Pred does
Diablo,
win it, but you
Pred
cannot
se la
win it here
tiró.
anymore.
Yeah, you have one more player here, but rotation is all off as you have 3 players set on.
Oh,
Vivid. He's
buena.
able to take the
Buena,
gunfight
cabrón.
accuracy with 1 on rotation.
Vamos, que están a ley de
So
22
2-on-3
puntos,
towards
22
P4.
puntitos más y ya.
Turns into a 2-on-2.
Buena.
Dashi, this is just what he does. Gets to his spots,
Buena.
beams. Kenny looking over him. Shotzi in a hit.
Vamos,
in
let's
the
go, let's
hill.
go, let's go, let's go.
All of Rocker spawning
Let's
out.
go.
They can close it out here.
Yeah, I mean, you do one part of the job. You can test long enough, you can't win it there, but you had so much more work to do. You had to win the rotation as well. You're not able to do that. Optic, you're able
Vamos,
to
10 más, 10 más. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Vamos. Let's go. Vamos, que es el mejor de 3, Cori. El mejor de 3, no.
A bit like the Seattle series yesterday, like
El mejor de 5, perdón. El mejor de 5, perdón. El mejor de 5.
until they're not.
Second
Around that halfway
rotation.
point, yeah, the second set of rotations where Optic really hit another gear.
Yeah, but I just think for Rocker, I mean, you have a chance there to carry maybe a 60 or
No,
70
son buenos, son buenos,
Bebo,
Bebo, son buenos. Lo que pasa es que, como dije ahorita, todo va a depender de comunicación, rotación, gunfight. Eso mayormente se debe a esto. Todos son buenos. A la hora de la verdad, papi, esta gente son buenos. Son buenos todos.
But I mean, this scoreboard probably looks a lot different.
Ellos no son como nosotros, que fallamos tiro con cojones.
That we saw Optic have.
Esa gente le meten, papi. Esa gente le meten horas y horas.
Dímelo,
Dímelo, Don Wiki. ¿Qué está pasando, brother? Mano, literal, imagínate si yo estuviera ahí. No, yo me la vivo, papi. Hay que vivírsela.
Sometimes it just takes one, creates a bit of chaos.
I mean, it's where accuracy spawned in that moment too, right? You spawn all the way out because the old hill is still up.
Yeah.
So he just dies at the worst time possible. But going through the highlights of map 1, you will see early Rocker lead just turns into a one-sided Optic map.
Yeah, because you're up, what, 70 here about. You get a good amount of time if you were Optic Texas, but you're right. I mean, this Palace, like, this game looks so different. Now, could Optic have made a run somewhere else? Sure. But, like, if you get that if you're Rocker, you're going for the jugular early. You got a chance to really get it done and shock them in map 1.
Well, it's just with some of the money hills that we see in this game, you have an 80 to 90 point lead. You could just bank on that rotation, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's Skid Row, P2, here at Palace.
Todo bien, Bebo, todo bien.
Let's just
Viendo
make
esto
sure
un
we have
rato,
the
mano.
spawns for
Para
when the
irme
hill comes up,
a
a
cortar
chance to
ahorita.
win the
Esto
game.
trabajo, mano.
But instead,
Pero quiero ver por lo menos
Just
hasta los
such
de
good
Face.
plays. This
Pero
is
cuando
when Fred goes on the
este
big
juego
pitch,
termine, bueno,
they spawn
cuando
them out
ya
here.
terminen ellos de jugar,
Get them
pues le
stuck
toca
at
Face
Palace once again, a clean
contra
P3.
Toronto.
Hey, nothing's guaranteed, though. You think about Carolina, they thought they could just rotate, too. I said they could.
Dude, you were just talking to Club, man. Jackson, that's crazy.
It's true.
So mean.
But it's just, yeah, no, you're right, though. It's a map where you can do that, but you can still get broken at the most inopportune time. As Texas push this the distance, the guns start to get high. I thought it was just one of those ones where they came out a bit flat, and I'm like, they might get stunned, but they're able to get back into it. I bet a land environment helps a lot for that. Like, when you do start slow, you have one big moment where I think you kind of nailed it. The crowd came alive after Palace. That, like, helps you start getting into a rhythm and flow, I'm sure, to some degree.
Yeah, I mean, just sort of, as you said, they've had a couple of slow series. And, you know, I think their eyes will be on the prize of, we got to beat FaZe. We have to beat Ultra if we want to play this. We do look at that game flow chart, and, yeah, you can kind of see just right around that P5 tie game, and they run away with it. You get 23 points across.
Brother,
So what would have been if you get a
yo mejor te arreglo esa pregunta, cubanito. Yo, ustedes pues me pueden ver donde ustedes se sientan más cómodos. Si te sientes más cómodo en Twitch, pues obviamente Twitch. Si es Kick o YouTube, donde quiera que tú te sientas cómodo.
Not usually what you want to see, but it's a 100-point victory there for Optic in the map 1. We get ready now for Crouchy Search and Destroy. Now we go to a mode where Rocker has
Lo importante es que van a ver el mismo contenido en las 3 diferentes plataformas. So, donde tú te sientas ready, ahí te puedes quedar, Bebo. Lo único que por lo menos en Kick y en Twitch tengo, bueno, ahí van a haber personas comentando, ¿me entiendes? Que tú te puedes añadir a esas conversaciones, que un poquito más así. Un nene aquí conmigo.
Where you're just a little bit slow in search and destroy, but your respawns look fantastic.
Well, I think we think of him as kind of the leader, yeah, for this team when it comes to like gameplay and stuff. And yeah, he's had a lot of slow starts in search and destroy. But now let's talk about the Monster Energy pregame here for Optic Texas. Joe.
I mean, 6-0.
Gracias a todos los que están entrando al directo, Corillo. ¿Verdad? Muchas gracias a todos. Di algo ahí. Dile. Dile hello. Él está diciéndole adiós a todos ustedes. Bendito.
So you're feeling confident there. It's just, can you come
Ay.
get a search to destroy when.
Gracias, Bam Bam. Gracias por ese follow, brother. Gracias por darte la vueltita. Bienvenido.
Like Toronto looked good. I know they were kind of 60% or so in search leading into the event, but it looks very good. FaZe who beat them in 2 searches. Like, as this tournament goes on, you got a couple maps here. You're really hoping to like improve the search and improve it quickly.
You're going to need it if you want to win this tournament.
Yeah. I mean, that's all I'd be thinking about. Like, yes, our respawn's so good, but we're going to need a search win somewhere.
Now we're going to take a look at the Monster Energy pregame here for Rocker.
Gracias a un millón, Bebo.
He did a little bit slaying. We saw that there in map number 1, but Linz has been fantastic here. All eyes on him in search and destroy. He's got a 1.4. He's got a couple of clutches as well.
Yeah, listen, he might be living in Hydra's shadow a bit, just coming over being a French player in this league, but he has been spectacular to watch. What an impact player he has been. It's been truly special stuff. Now, round 1 to the search and destroy. Rocker looking to answer back after they get kind of choked out of the second half of that hard point.
Yeah, Linz with some early shots. You have a 2-on-2 over towards the site for right now, but everything just kind of slows down. Optic here at Major 1 have not played this map, where for Minnesota Rocker, you've played it once, you've won it once.
Third search, Bobby.
Big wing. Getting eyes on multiple, trying to comp to Linz, through on the cross. It's Vivid that actually gets the opening kill.
Yeah.
Dashy does get 1, but Vivid will get
Vamos,
2.
3v2.
You keep numbers right now if you are Rocker. Bomb will be down as well. Tough gunplay there for Dashy. He'll reposition for now.
Yeah, well, really, Awakening repositions. He just gets down.
Actually, literal,
Miki.
Literal, Bobby.
So 35 seconds left with Bomb down in that spot. Could just come down to time here for Optic, but they know someone's in this area.
Perfecto, vamos. 2v2. Let's go.
25 to go. Gotta get
bueno, toca plantar a ellos, mano.
Dashy versus Linz in Awakening.
Shit.
Time dwindling. Got to go. Will the read be here?
Buena! Let's fucking go, baby!
On the other side of it as well.
Vamos.
The fist bumps out the 2v2 win.
La win.
Strike first.
Primera.
Well, I think you saw from Ped's POV, he spots Awakening, right? So he just has an idea of where he repositioned. I don't think Awakening was able to see him. So he's just trying to watch across there for a moment towards middle alley to give some info up. I just don't know if the timing was bad, but you give up 2 one-on-ones. Well, really 3 of them, and Optic just win them all.
Yeah, this is both teams have really struggled kind of at your first blood conversions. Like, they've not been great when you look at the overall scope of the league. They get their first picks. They lose a lot of rounds when they have numbers. This time, it's going to be Rocker the receiving end of that. You're into that 3v2 quickly behind 2 from Vivid. And you have losing that round. Speaking of Vivid, he's exploding. And Linz this time, who got early damage in the last round, this time he's able to find the opener, Joe.
Yeah, able to find the opener. You still have 2 players here, though, and accuracy's going to check the corner. So Bomb going down over towards B. 2-on-4. A very tough situation for Kenny and Dashy.
Well, as I just said, both these teams have struggled capitalizing on the first blood. Linz, though, putting it down to 1 in Dashy may be the dagger. Dashy's got eyes on him, but so much little bits of cover there for Linz to work with. He's able to squirrel away. But your 3-0 start for Dashy. What can you do with 20 seconds on the clock?
Well, he might, I mean, 3, I mean, do you just kind of play around the cruise potentially? Maybe you're just playing your life here, but let's say he's going to try to find some more. Maybe find 1 more kill, maybe 2. Able to spot Vivid. Playing his life. Can he hit
buena.
There.
La jugó bien.
We talked about how great he has been in search. So he opens up that round on attack.
Yeah, I mean, I'm never saying Dashy's out of it to search and destroy round. I mean, his kill onto what RC's yesterday on Terminal was the fastest kill I've ever seen in my life. Like, he'll turn some scenarios. Like, when he shouldn't be able to get a 1v1 fight, it'll become that because he gets the kill so quick. Sometimes he hits shots that defy logic. One now and a 4-1 start for Dashy.
Get a bit of a slow start here for Kenny and Shotzi, but they got things going through the second half of that first map. Shotzi up top, I think spots one, and they take down Vivid. So accuracy, the only player here. He's gonna catch that stun, and this should be a freebie. Another stun comes in, and he's like, yeah, I got too much spot, guys, but no trophy for me.
Yeah, could not move. Awakening, though. Able to rip one and Ken. That'll be bombed down on the site. 2 versus 3 now. You were able to pull off a 2 versus 3. If you're Optic Texas, you have a chance to do now if you're Rocker.
Yeah, but Fred might just close this round out, right?
Bueno, se supone que sí. Yo estoy en YouTube ahora mismo viéndolo, loquillo. Se supone que sí.
They catch the bomb planner, and now you are very separated right now if you're the Optic players.
Lo único que aquí en YouTube tú no lo tienes que linkear. Bueno, tienes que linkear tu cuenta de Call of Duty solamente. Y la recompensa cuando se termina, que tú la adquieres, va directamente al juego. En Twitch es diferente. En Twitch tú tienes que reclamarlo para que vaya al juego.
Oh, can't quite get him as he gets away, and then he gets tagged up and dropped. You hold on if you're Optic. You don't throw away that 3v2 advantage. You're able to get the round win. Those have been the rounds that have been some of the scary moments for them.
No, 100%. I mean, you were just kind of waiting for Fred, right? Dashy was trying to buy time. He's saying, I'm working through red. Both players are here. They should be some freebies, but he gets taken down, and then Awakening was able to read that pinch. So almost heads-up plays from the Minnesota Rocker. But Fred has been so consistent. We saw it in map 1, doing it here in map 2.
You were talking overall about Ken's slow starts in search, right? Just like the big picture. But
yeah, big picture.
0-3 right now. The teammates picking up the slack. We'll see if he can get rolling into this one. Offense back to Rocker. Vivid's POV. Let's see if maybe he can
en
find
YouTube, Call of Duty League. Tú escribes Call of Duty League, se supone que te aparezca el directo.
As Rocker, we know how patient they can be offensively. Like, unless Vivid or Lins get free.
Yeah, I mean, this is really their default. I mean, I feel like we've seen this time and time again. 3 over towards B, Lins just on an island in red. Maybe he could find an opening, or you're just kind of really outpatient the defensive side. Is Shotzi going to get aggressive? Fred able to find one, snaps onto the second. Can he find number 3? Absolutely does.
Wow, qué triple kill más duro hizo.
Fred taking over in this round, and by time Lins, sort of that island man gets involved, well, Fred's killed the entire team.
Wow.
As he takes over.
Qué duro es Fred.
In round number 4, a 3-1 edge to Optic, and sometimes when you're a struggling search and destroy team, an individual moment of brilliance is all you need.
I mean, we saw last round, right, for Optic. I mean, they stunned out accuracy in that spot. That is such a power position. We're going to take a look at that replay. I mean, just 1-by-1 challenge on this heady. Good luck. And then I think get some info there to snap onto Vivid. As every single time he can make this roar, he does.
And, like, that from Vivid's POV, like, yeah, you're a little tagged up if you're Fred, but, like, he just gets cambered so hard as he comes jumping over the top. Beautiful. Beautiful there from Fred. 4 in a row. We'll see if he can keep this streak going. Shotzi. After he gets stunned up, he just comes out of the stun animation right before the smoke is going to bloom, and he's able to get the kill. Vivid right on the other side of the door as well.
I thought he was going to get caught on the ladder, right? I feel like we've all been in that position, but now that door is open. Another one in the round for Shotzi.
Yeah, hey, what's going on? And welcome to Shotzi's Pleasure Palace.
Oh, my.
Whoa. I have no idea. Guy's hurt. Making plays. Fist bumps out.
Están jugando un buen juego. Están jugando un buen juego, Optic. Están jugando un buen juego. Like it.
Well, he gets 3 in the round in his Pleasure Palace, as you were saying.
Yeah, he's taking over. That's his spot. No, but
¿Qué?
dude,
¿Qué tú
the
quieres
number of
decir?
times where whether you're playing MP or Warzone or whatever,
Dile,
and
habla
you're
con la
just
gente ahí.
accidentally get on a ladder.
Ay,
If you're
no,
you don't need to be caught on a
saluda.
ladder, but like when you're like not even trying to interact with the ladder at all, you're like walking backwards, like
Telling you, there's, like, magnetism
something.
towards it.
Why am I on a goddamn ladder? I don't know.
I don't know. Doesn't happen to him though. Does not happen to him. It's Optic up 4-1.
No, like, all the little annoying things that happen to average players, like Shotzzy is just the map's his wonderland. You know, he doesn't care.
That teamwork that we have seen from Rocker throughout this tournament, not really showing here, just getting picked apart. But over towards A, Kenny going to be the one player here for Optic. She's probably going to find some info. I imagine you're going to be into a retake situation. See, it's down to 6 HP, but yep, 4-on-4 bomb planted.
Lens to the 4-on-3. Kenny, some tag, tries to back out of it. Can't do it, but now the rivals going off. Shotzzy and Pred to a 2v2 we go. This would be a dagger to Rocker now in this search and destroy. You already have the 4-1 edge if you were Optic, and Shotzzy cleaning house. 5 in a row for him. Lens still biding his time. Pred on it. Oh, sorry, sir.
Le difusieron la bomba en la cara.
They are all
Le difusieron la bomba en la cara.
She was like, what the hell do you guys do?
Oh my
Bro, can we talk
God.
about that smoke, by the way? He throws it from Junkyard. He just throws it over the top. It perfectly lands on the bomb.
Are you
Le
surprised?
difusieron la
Doesn't
bomba en la
even check
cara.
it. He's just kind of holding for it, and Pred the whole time was just sneaking up bust. But it's a 2-on-4, and when you see Kenny smiling, usually people are pissed off, but this time they're happy.
Wow.
He's on their team.
Now he's wearing green and white.
Qué
5-1.
brutal.
One more round now for Optic 2-0 edge, and where they've struggled in search and destroy, they have outclassed them here. You've got 5 in a row for Pred, 5 in a row for Shotzzy. There is a rhythm, there is a rhyme to the gameplay right now, and they are making it look easy as Shotzzy wants to get involved yet again. Well, Blins this time has the angle, has the kill. First blood for Rocker, but you've had a couple now. What, for your first bloods, you've got 4 if you are Minnesota Rocker. You've got 1 round win. As we said, both teams have struggled in that first blood conversion rate, but right now it's Rocker that's really been on the struggling side of that. Hey, what's up? Knock, knock, Kenny's here. Hello. 13 HP, tries to get through the window. Guy thinks he's Batman. Not quite able to get there as he gets dropped.
No, Batman is already on his team, so
Good
he's
point, Joe.
gonna be a different superhero. But Dashy will turn this into 2-on-2. Again, another round, another scenario where you have man advantage.
How athletic was Robin? Like semi?
Yeah, it depends, but yeah, very athletic.
Still on your streak now. If you were Pred, 30 seconds to go.
Guy was in the circus, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So very, very athletic.
20 seconds, bomb down.
Hey.
Pred able to find one with the rival, but Linz with 3 in the round says, we're playing more search.
Sheesh. Movement clean there. As Pred's just ADS, he's like, I got one, and that is, yeah, he's got his head on a swivel.
I mean, it's also Linz with a rival. If that's an MCW, that's a kill for Pred.
Yeah.
But nice movement, as you said, and Linz keeping them alive. Finds the first blood and the trade. He's up to 8-4, but Nameless, you always hear him talking about Giga Wake, right? 1-7, need him to come alive.
Yeah, it's like Giga Flake, Joe.
Yep.
I need him. Yeah, roll that chair back further.
Hey, mistakes were made. Even the best players in the world can miss a grenade every now
Yeah,
and
you
then.
just showed that movement, that finesse, that style. Then you come into the next round, you're like, all right, slow me down. Wow. Well, it's a 4v3.
I'm going down, though.
For Texas is whether Rocker have first. They're finding new ways to get first bloods and lose rounds now.
I think he finds the timing. He absolutely does. Accuracy, not going to see him. Just gets through. Awakening. Vivid now in a 2-on-3.
And Vivid, the timing, the second he gets top of the step, Shotzzy is already pre-aimed there, up to 9-4. Dashy on it. Awakening in trouble. We'll see you later. The search and destroy looks clear.
Corillo, recuérdense que el chat es de ustedes, Corillo, comenten.
is they're able to take a 2-0 edge, and that's what you want to see. Some solid search out of
Papi, esta gente vinieron a quedarse con el canto.
As well. He just got going. He got loose. Just felt like he was winning so many one-on-ones with the rival. And I mean, we saw sort of that video, or maybe if you missed it, just asking players what their favorite map is. A bunch of them were just like, anything Karachi so I can run around with an SMG. Run around with the rival. And yeah, you just saw right there, Pred Shotzi takeover.
Just this
Lo llora de unos sangre.
You don't get a lot of
tan duro.
time to do that, but here
Tan duro, Draco, tan duro, tan duro. Hay que ver cómo esto termina, pero vamos bien. Papi, los verdes, papi. Optic. Aunque en esta última semana le han dado un par de bofetadas a ellos, ¿verdad? Le han dado bastante duro. Face Clan me lo tiene amoldeado, los pobres Optic.
I was thinking though, Dashy though, like in some of these searches,
Face Clan lo tiene papi el palo.
even though like his engagements have been low,
Pero van
like,
bien,
the
van bien.
numbers have still been there. Like,
Yeah, I mean, you know, you're playing a lot of these long-range spots, right? Obviously with 150 health.
And we don't always see when you're watching a different POV and somebody kills somebody.
Me lo
really quick,
silent,
you don't
papi.
realize that, you know, Dashy got two
Mira,
bullets
te vi
in
que
two
estás
before
por
that.
acá por
So,
los United.
that is where damage numbers
Duro,
can
papi.
be important. Is there some,
Durísimo.
you know, meaningless damage at times? Sure, but I think a lot of times he's helping out the squad.
No doubt about it. Was 3 losses or so in a row for Optic and S&D, but able to bounce back here on championship.
Juegan así igual que yo. Duro, papi, duro, qué bueno, mano.
Shotzi, Fred, they're able to do exactly that. They get going. They get the upset there in the map too. They are up 2-0, a chance to close it out in the control. Don't go anywhere. We're back after this quick break.
El lunes voy a buscar trabajo a ver si entro a Walmart. Duro, papi, duro. Mete mano, brother. Ya yo voy para 10 años con Walmart. 10, papi, yo.
Start the season strong with the Call of Duty League Pack. Grab yourself the CDL Operator, Weapon Blueprint, and so much more. Check out the Call of Duty store in-game now.
Ya estamos en comerciales. Le hicieron buen juego. El otro yo creo que es Control, si no me equivoco. Sí, en Invasion. Final yo digo Optic y Face. Ese es como... Dale, ¿cómo decirte? Eso es como los Lakers con los Warriors. Vamos a decirlo así. Chach, papi. Chotzi tiene un movimiento bien absurdo, mano. Se supone que yo estuviese durmiendo, gorillo, porque ahorita trabajo, pero yo dije que se joda todo. Vamos a streamear esto. Esto no se ve todos los días. Lo vamos para encima. Sí, bro, pero hace un frío. Ñaño, papi. Tacho. Aquí en Florida hace frío, ¿sabes? Pero eso es cuando llega la temporada de frío. Y en realidad no es nada frío comparado con lo que hay en el norte. Es algo lógico. Pero hace más frío que Puerto Rico, obviamente. Hace más frío que Puerto Rico aquí. Aquí hay veces que se meten a los 40, a los 30 y pico. Ya después de ahí no creo que se meta más de ahí. Pero para allá arriba, papi, eso está peludo. Ya se ha pasado lloviendo, no ha caído nieve, sea la madre. Aquí abajo a 39 cuando llegue. Y a diablo. Lo malo no es el número de la temperatura. Lo malo es que haya viento con esa temperatura. Ahí te llevó quien te trajo. El viento es lo que molesta. No es la temperatura en sí. Si hay viento, papi, te jodiste. No hay break. Estuvo en 16 grados en North Carolina. Diablo. Yo antes, a lo primero cuando yo llegué aquí, yo trabajaba afuera, papi. Y llegó la temporada ¿sabes? De frío. Papi, yo estaba en los 38 con un viento, pero pelú. Pelú, pero malo. Para ese día me puse como 2 pantalones, 2 camisas y, papi, de todo. Pero es parte de, mano, parte de, siempre y cuando donde uno vaya, uno eche para adelante y vea el progreso. ¿Verdad? Que lo que venga no es nada, ¿verdad? Hay que pasar frío, calor, hambre, sed, hay que pasar de todo, de todo. Pero su momento de uno llegará.
Yeah, was this a little Minnesota Rocker watch party from yesterday?
What?
Hanging out?
Oh, okay, from yesterday. Say, what are you clapping about now?
Well, I mean, gotta clap, dude, for anything.
That's true. That's true.
For anything.
Root on your team. Root on your team, Joe.
See if they can bring it back here. They have played a couple of invasion controls throughout this tournament. They've lost both of them in round 5. So maybe you learn from those moments where the other side for Optic, you're 1-0.
Recuerden que muchas personas le van a mostrar el lado del progreso, pero el lado malo, papi, nadie se lo muestra. Que ahí es que hay que guayar. Hay que guayar, Corillo, hay que guayar.
Based on the search and destroy, where you really want to see some improvements. You look so strong there against a team that was with 3-1 in search coming into this. So they've been a solid.
No, papi, aquí las cosas. Bueno, en casi ningún lugar del mundo, pero cuando se habla de Estados Unidos, papi, tú tienes que guayar la yuca, papi.
This map 1 or map 3. Restarting.
Vamos allá, Corillo. Esto es control.
A 4 Minnesota Rocker, right? No trophies are down towards the so you get some nades in.
Buena. Buen movement. Buen movement.
With Awakening looking over him. Gonna have 2 players on A.
Tiene un tercio capturado.
Trying to push across. Big win there from Kenny, maybe to clear him out. Nice shots from Lins. At range with that rival.
Ya tienen 2 tercios capturados. Vamos, que no se la haga tan fácil tampoco esta gente. Ya, diablo, le van a puchar. Bye, papi. Vamos a bajar esa A un poquito, por lo menos la rayita que le falta. Buena. Están apretando en el otro lado.
That's why they went back over towards A.
Buena.
In the defense or attacking spawn. And we saw that yesterday, right? Where if you're going to go for this A, you could potentially be put into the Blender B street. Rocker able to get out of it. They find the next 3 kills on the map, make it 4. So Awakening finds that double.
Yeah, Awakening, he has got to step it up within this series, and he lovely double there, hip fire just right as he continues to move forward. 3 in a row, 4, snapping back for 5, not quite there, but an individual moment there from Awakening for sure. 2 bits of progress now.
Está pasando, brother. ¿Qué la que hay?
Looking to get this minute-long extension, and considering all it's gone down, you're still going to have like 2 minutes to work with. Because you've been on the point basically at all times.
And Optic, they just kind of give this up, which I know, hey, we saw teams yesterday go for it. Maybe one last time, and instead they lose.
Es parte de, bro, es parte de. Siempre y cuando Silent, yo lo que te digo a ti, papi, de consejo, todo te va a salir bien siempre y cuando no te quites, papi. Siempre y cuando no te quites.
Yeah. You don't see it too often.
Buen gunfight. Vas a pasar la 1001, pero papi, vas a ver el resultado de todo el esfuerzo. Yo pasé por lo mismo y estoy pasando también, pero yo no me quito, papi. Que trabajar y siempre plantarte meta todo el tiempo. Que todos tus planes estén llenos de meta. ¡Oh, buena!
Lins with the jump in shots, able to take down 1.
No respawns remaining now, and they're getting cut down. Kenny with 2, Dashy in the mix as well. Accuracy,
Vamos,
Awakening.
le quedan 45 segundos a ver si Minnesota puede capturar. Tienen 45 segundos para capturar.
Push gets it done, but Shotzi has had accuracy's number, I swear. Like, I mean,
buena.
4 or 5 accuracy.
Perfecto, buen colado, buen colado. Buen colado.
Just get set up into your defense. Don't allow them an easy transition.
Buenísima.
Shotzi able
Fucking
to control
go.
the streets. The rest of the team locked down the middle of the map. But I mean, 2 minutes,
Vamos.
it's a long time. But when you spawn out Palace, it takes 30 seconds to get over there. It's really 3-4 pushes and the round is over.
And those are the situations usually where lives come into play as well. I mean, not as often as you're going to see it happen on maybe a High Rise or a Karachi, but when you find the success at A and B, you're on it for the most part throughout both. You have 2 ticks done on both, and you still have the 2 minutes. Like, it's usually
Minnesota, como le digo, Minnesota no es mal, no es mal equipo. Minnesota no es mal equipo, no lo es. No lo es. Pero va a haber un equipo que va a predominar más que el otro.
2 more rounds is all you need to put the icing on the cake and move on within this tournament.
Buena, Kenny, buena.
For the Optic boys, let's go to a listen.
Buena. Dímelo, Salinas, brother, ¿qué es la que hay? Saluditos a todos por ahí, gorillo.
I can't see P4. Can we get on point now? Yeah. Front DVD, wait. I have the cross pad here, bro. I have your cross head. Just stay down. Wait, yeah, he's struck at back. Okay, back right. Go beat up, I think. One step back. Beat up on your side. One shot of back ass. Beat up, we can split. Beat up, one shot. Awakening. The one's back FA. Alright, go A, go B.
Los callouts se tratan de decir palabras clave que ellos identifiquen rápido y para no hablar mucho. So, son palabras cortitas, pero ellos saben cuál es la posición de lo que están diciendo. Palabras cortitas.
I have it. Lamar's in Palace or some shit. Good. Lamar's gonna be go ahead. No one gas, by the way. I'm gonna do left. Lamar's gonna be Lamar Street.
Y a diablo, buena.
2 fucking guys. One back by the thing.
Bueno. Me faltan capturar A nada más. Me faltan capturar A. Vamos. Tienen 1 minuto y medio. Tienen chance.
Top gas awakening. Top gas. On top of it. He jumped off. Back mannequin. I'm in cafe now. I see no one. Back mannequin. We should try to just kill that Lamar Street. Yeah. I'm looking for this cafe. Take your time, man. He's top American. Top American. Lamar. Top American. Top American. I'm looking.
Oh, buena.
Top American. Top American. Lamar. One more back mannequin. Lamar.
The main thing I took away from that listening was just Pred calling out everything accurate.
Uy, buena.
That had me dying. They're finally able to clear him out, but it's like, is he through? Is he not? He's Lamar Street. That was great. I mean, that's a big part of control, though. Keeping track of where players are, not losing somebody.
Yeah, I mean, just calling out those names, and I mean, I wish I just had a street named after me, right? I mean, obviously, Lamar's play style, they've teamed with each other. Pred in accuracy, Kenny in accuracy, some great history there, but Optic able to get B. Trying to find a couple of takes over towards A. Well, you got 5 in round number 1 for Minnesota, so always that round 5 defense in the back of your head, but had a couple opportunities. Really, they controlled a lot of the mid-map control. It's just really that next push that Minnesota have been winning.
Just over 20 seconds left to go. Still 10 lives if you're Optic, but not sure you have enough time to actually use them. This is your next wave. Any opening kills will be massive. You've been yet to be able to find one. A kill onto that A street. Maybe a chance for an opening, but just now 8 seconds to go. You've got to fly. There's multiple people through on the cross. You need some world stars here if you're going to go through and get this done. Kenny is
no pudieron entrar. Hicieron bien. Buena. Pudieron aguantar bastante.
Yeah, when Kenny got 2, you had a chance. Who knows what happens once you get to the point you stop that clock.
Si hubieran entrado por lo menos 2 al mismo tiempo en ese momento, hubieran podido entrar. Pero bueno, está 1-1 ahí.
And I think that's a lot of times why you see like the last-ditch efforts work out sometimes in controls because of that. Like you see from Awakening's POV, like you don't often just like everyone just throws it to the wind and flies out. It's like you miss tracking once, you stack to the wrong guy, you get dropped, suddenly your first domino, things fall apart, they're on the point, all chaos ensues. But there
Corillo, déjenme saber, bueno, yo sé que no me lo han dicho, pero déjenme saber si todo se escucha bien y se ve bien.
That was a good view from Awakening, just how chaotic it can be when everyone starts flying up that street. as Pred and Shotzi get us started here into round 3.
And I like that from Roster, a little bit different. Not much through A, but they actually are towards B Dom. Try to flank through DVD, but it turns into nothing. So nice reads there for
Duro. Dímelo, Reaper. ¿Qué está pasando,
as
huevo?
a squad. Maybe just try to get pushed up B Street. Put them in that early blender. Again, they're down a couple of ticks is Optic based on the first offense for Minnesota Rocker.
Oh, good point, good point.
Tus clases parten, las puse y ando rompiendo. Duro, duro, bebo. Cuando yo digo que le tomo la clase de alguien y le cambio algo, pues yo lo digo. Por lo menos en esta parte de la RAM, yo le quité la mira y le cambié obviamente el barrel, que era de la de Tenux. Y pues por lo menos en la parte, el stock sí es mío. El stock se lo puse para que patee menos. Pero mayormente esa clase de Tenux, mano. En verdad está bien dura. Hay que darle el crédito a quien se lo merece.
There's always one more player here from Optic just disrupting this setup. Whether they're pushing through alley or just pushing right up the street. That's going to be 3 dead. Accuracy, the last player left, is able to take down his teammates, his former teammates in Kenny and Pred.
Barely. That last one got a little windy for a second.
But now
se estaba subiendo la vida. Buena.
As he works up A Street, 10 seconds. This might be a perfect round here for Optic. And look at the white arrows. They have to go. They have to get onto an objective. They're headed towards A.
What? Ya porque lo stunearon. Buena. Buenísima. Buena.
Buena. I thought maybe it gets a little more interesting, but Optic, nah. Let's just shut it down now. Nice shots.
Nice shots from Pred, but 0 ticks allowed. So now you are in the driver's seat if you are Optic Texas.
You don't see that all that often. Those perfect holds. That's beautiful. I think you nailed it. Like, Shotzi getting pushed up, some kills to stagger at that point in the round. You just didn't give him another chance.
And really just the trading, just how effective they were on B Street. I mean, sometimes it feels like the offensive teams are going to come out on top of that sooner or later. Trophies will be down, nades won't connect, and you just lose B. Yeah. You have to flood through Dark Alley instead.
Vamos, si Optic defiende bien, perdón, ataca bien, ganamos el segundo juego. Buen buste, que es segundo juego. Esto se termina. Se me olvida que está 2-0.
You've taken advantage for a round 5
2-0.
defense. Or looking that way based on how the last round was. You still have to get
buenísima, buena.
Accuracy going on a big pinch all the way through. Kind of what we
saw
from Shotzi.
Vamos a capturar B, papi.
Pred is there for the trade.
I think Fred's got accuracy's tendencies down fine.
Yeah, I mean, he is playing so well for this team here today throughout this
series.
Pred. He's going to be number 20.
Let's go, baby.
So he's able to get that second tick done. Pred, he wins another one. But he does get traded out from Vivid, so the pressure is still here. But on the other side of the map, again, it is Shotzi who's starting to transition over to A. And now you're going to have 2 players able to watch his cross. But the stuns and the nades connect. Is Rocker able to rebound?
He's got to start getting some kills, too. I mean, you're just getting outslayed pretty large here. If you're Minnesota Rocker, just struggling to find success. And there you go. Now you get a wave of kills. You get a little more breathing room, as you were talking about. Because Vivid and Lens were both like double negative throughout the course of this game. You'd love to unlock them a bit. Can you get a big hold here defensively? You've got the 2 bits done. Just one more tick needed. Awakening and accuracy, though, they've got the crossfire. And accuracy's chowing out. Pred's still laying here. Just waiting for the reinforcements to come. But it's been a bit staggered now for Optic. You got 30 seconds to go. This has been good from Rocker.
Buena, Pred. Buenísima, Pred.
I'm pretty sure we're tied in ticks for now.
Buena.
Vivid getting a snap top broken. He's on 4 in a row. Still dealing with players off a spawn. One player gets through under him. Accuracy there for the trade. Kind of what we saw last round for Optic.
Necesitamos esa captura de B, mano. Esa captura de B la necesitamos urgente, mano. Vamos. Le añade un minuto más. 1 minuto y 16. Perfecto. Vamos para encima, vamos para allá.
Sometimes like get set up if you're Rocker. Like for a second I thought they were going to send it out with like nothing left on the point. Like get set up. They do get aggressive on both sides to the point. Just trying to stagger, make sure they can't work towards A for free. And Lens has done a magnificent job. He's able to take down 2, make it 3. They'll trade out that 3rd. Shotzi's getting no aim assist now. He's like, I'm out. I'll reposition for another gunfight. 50 seconds, though, left to go.
Buena. Estaba con la corta en la mano.
You already have accuracy all the way pushed up. You see Pred kind of looking for him. That one-on-one. Is he going to spot him? He does. So Pred's able to take him down so they can start pushing River Street. That's going to be 2 dead. Here's going to start the push for Optic.
Buena.
Opportunity now. Kenny.
Vamos.
Accuracy. Some wall bangs through, but Fred has got to the corner.
Buena.
He's stunned out of his
Let's
mind.
go.
But Shotzi is on to the point. You got two players here trying to back up.
Vamos.
Another wave of kills is going to come through. The Suns
baby.
keep hitting because you don't have a trophy inside. You're trying to survive all the utility that's
Holy
coming
shit.
in. But I don't know if
It's
you're
gonna
gonna
be
get there in
crazy,
time.
bro.
It's flying.
It's
You
gonna
got
be
so many
crazy,
stats
bro.
on the point. In that
Vamos, dame esa
shot.
win.
No.
Dame esa win, papi.
No,
Oh, no.
They get the clearance.
Diable, brother.
Crowds on their feet.
No te creo, cabrón. No te
Now
creo.
15 seconds to go.
Fuck.
Looking like a round 5. My God.
No, brother. Faltó un poquito, cabrón.
Yeah, I thought with 3 players on it,
GG.
it was done, but I think Linz was able to find 1 player on the point, so then it was just 2. It goes a little bit slower. gives
Dale,
them
brother.
enough time,
Falta
as
un
you said.
poquito.
Everybody was ready for it. They
Falta
get 5
un
ticks.
poquito.
It looks so close. Woo! One more round.
Perdieron ese
See what
round.
Rocker can do. They have not found much success
Ya le
here
falta
on
un
attack.
pelín, cabrón. Falta un pelín.
Sometimes we said that, and then the round 5 goes a little bit differently. We just saw it yesterday. We were casting. Sometimes it gets flipped on its head. And while they did find some success in that first round, though, like they were real close to getting A off the rip. They had 2 bits of progress at both. Nearly pushed to the distance. They need some success like that. Do you expect this to be more of a standard B push, or
I think you have to go
take a risk for A, right?
Yeah, I'm taking a risk for A 100% of the time. Yeah, but we'll see what they opt to do. I think really the key throughout these rounds, throughout this map, has been a lot of the time Shotzi just finding openings, whether on attack or defense, kind of putting them into the blender, but they're just going to opt to play for the extra time. Vivid's nade's going to connect onto Pred, put 1 player on it, and Lynch just go for the cutoffs.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where, you know, Optic's going to expect them to go for A. They have 2 players over there, so you're thinking, let's just take the freebie. And get the opener here, maybe take a nice little lives
Se empató
advantage. They're
esto.
doing just that, as Linz doing such a great job. He took an early 4 life advantage. Now lurking up is Lamar at number 6, trying to get across through on the angle to help them, and then maybe just get into A, maybe turn some heads. Need to bring some people that way.
He's on it as well. I don't know when they'll notice either, right? I mean, sometimes when you're capturing both points, you don't really get that nodie. Now Awakening gonna find 2, so this is gonna get messy here for Optic. In their comms to be on point. 3 dead. You see the spawn so far away from that 8 points. And now they're on their horse, but they're getting cut down. They are down 7 lives. Vivid trying to transition to help out accuracy. I think the key here, you've only had 1 player on this 4 rocker. He's able to find another gunfight. Does he get the second
my
one?
God.
He does. He's on 5
That was
in a
good.
row.
That was good.
Accuracy taking over Lamar Street.
Yeah, Lamar doing
Oh
it
my
by
God.
himself. Oh, the help's here. All right, thanks, boys. Don't worry. I got it on.
Diablo, se lo sacaron del buche. Se lo sacaron del buche. Estuvo bueno, estuvo bueno, estuvo bueno, estuvo bueno.
His lightning strikes in that round 5. How many times have we seen it? The round 5 just doesn't make sense.
And that is just props to Rocker. First of all, that break off.
Yeah,
but
that
the
was
way
good.
The accuracy starts that round. What I talked about with Shotzi, the openings he was finding on A Street, he sat there the entire round. While the attack was going down at B, he never left Palace Wall. And then as his team found more and more kills, he's like, I'm going to start creeping over here.
Yeah, he keeps trying to angle to maybe help for a second. He's like, I'm just going to hop
I'm going to just get on this. And sometimes in control, when you're on both points, it takes a second
especially
to
in a
really
gunfight,
figure
too.
out.
They were still in the mix.
They're on A. Like, we need to go.
Yeah, it's not like they were sitting there chatting. Like, they're in the midst of fights. Like, they're battling for B. You got a 3v3 on the other side. And, I mean, by time they actually, like, were able to get there, it was 2 bars were done.
Yep.
Like, just solo cap by accuracy. Then it helps when accuracy kills, what was it, 4 or 5 straight that he's able to get there. Keeps winning his one-on-ones. Accuracy, a history of being a thorn in the side of Optic Gaming. Another moment there where he goes big. You still got a lot of work to do. You still have to win a hard point if you're going to get it to a map 5, but can they get it there?
Yeah, you saw Awakening going huge. He had 25 non-traded kills, and that's what we talked about. Needed him to step on up for this team throughout this series. He has been quiet, but some highlights throughout this map. Pretty standard. Optic looking in control. They were able to win an offense. Almost 2. I will forget about that in round 4, how close that round was from being done.
Why has it always just been like this for control? Like round 5's like
round 11.
I just want to be like, yeah, why do you play like that the rest of the time? Like, it's just, dude, it's always like it makes no sense to me.
It's just adjustments, right, that teams are making.
Yeah.
Starting to figure it out how they're playing those rounds.
But it's just offense looks so impossible, and it's like, We got it easy.
I mean, this was really it, right? That first pick from Linz on the Pred on the point, that only gives them 2, and then you get that contest from Vivid. He's able to win the one-on-one. And over to accuracy. He was just hanging out A3, waiting for Shotzi on the flank. It never came through. His team did such a good job over towards B. He's like, I'm going to go to A, guys. I'll do it myself.
And you shock him a bit there. You shock the crowd. I mean, like half the place, I swear, is like on their feet thinking this one's over. Then you come out and stun them. You get the round victory.
Calling it was over.
Oh, yeah. I mean, as soon as I saw the bar like nearly full, I'm like, all right, let's call it. Start ramping up this crowd. And then suddenly silence as Rocker are able to get the dub. Yeah, be quiet. That's exactly what that moment did. Now you breathe some life into this Rocker team. We get ready for Skid Row hard point, but you're still looking at the end of the day. The hard point for Optic's a whole hell of a lot better.
I mean, this has been their go-to since the start of this game, right?
Yeah, it's like a Sunday surprise. It's a Skid Row. We're hitting you in your face.
Yeah, we're starting on the side that we want to control P2 if that's open. And yeah, I mean, right, you force Rocker to pick this. But yeah, 6-0 here at Major 1 with this hard point. I think for Optic, just gotta refocus here. Just one of those games you had, and sometimes it's just one play. Let it slip away.
Yeah. And you've got some obvious veterans here and some leaders to deal with this. We're going to take a look at some Skid Row stats as we get ready to go for the map 4, but it's just, yeah, I mean, that's one of those shocking ones where you're just like, whew, what the hell just happened? You blink and you lost. But take me through some of the Skid Row stats here, Joe.
I mean, Rocker, they've played this often. The margin's pretty close, but they do have 2 close losses. But again, just how clutch Minnesota have been. There's another one in that game 3, but the hold percentage for both of these teams, I mean, honestly, pretty even across the board.
Before we saw that stat, I would have guessed it'd be a little further towards Optic, honestly, with the success they've had. But this Rocker team has turned things around so big since the first, 4 or 5 matches that we had in the league. The improvements have been astounding. I don't think anyone saw them fighting here into a top 4 position, playing on Championship Sunday, but they are able to do it. Now, can they get to a map 5 maybe and battle Optic the distance, or Optic close it out now? Map 4 versus Seattle yesterday. Shotzi putting on a 23-13 performance, 1.77 KD. And Shotzi has been, he's been shooting. He's been making plays throughout the course of this best of 5.
Yeah, especially in that search and destroy. But on the other side for Rocker, again, you got Awakening. Well, he's awake here, right? He really stepped up in that map 3.
Some big multi-kills for them to just, like, those multi-kills end up being so huge, just the time difference in the openings they found and kind of that connection to the objective. But we get ripped right into this map 4.
Nada, está ganando Face Clan.
Holding the point.
Yeah, skirmish is going down on both ends.
2-1.
Already rotating towards P2, but that's going to be 3 dead.
Quien gane, bueno, si Optic gana este hard point, pues
ganan.
Yeah.
So this is best case scenario. Awakening not ready for
Ganan
that spawn. Accuracy does fly in, but you take the early time, you're going to have the rotation of P2.
You know, we see it on the minimap, obviously, but I'm thinking Awakening's just going to give up that fight and sort of rotate, get to a strong position. But
buena.
Drop, Dashy's able to get that kill, and now, yes, you'll give up some time here at P1, but whatever, you should be set up nicely. But kind of all over the map right now. If you're Optic Texas, trying to regroup, get back here and get a bit of help in. Kenny's going to drop, can't get through on the cross. Suddenly it's going to be Dashy by himself. You did the work to get here, you're doing the work to hold it. Dashy is popping up, going to get one more. The answer is yes. 4 in a row for Big Brucey as he makes a magnificent play early in this hard point.
I mean, just locks this down with some laser beams. I mean, just ready for that second gunfight. Rocker had a chance there.
Yeah, he's like, guys, I gotta rotate, I gotta kill everyone.
Yeah, what's going on here? But obviously no trophies, right? So early on in those pushes, it can be a little bit tough. But Dashy now on 5 in a row. We're going to find a ton of time. His stats are going to be looking marvelous.
Yeah, looking real good so far. While he's just soaking up time, everyone's dying in front of him. He'll just continue to eat. Get Dashy to a power position. This guy's not going to miss. You'll be looking at about a minute advantage once this is done. And this, for me, whenever I watch Skid Row, either the P2 to the P3 or the P3 to the P4. P3 is involved usually in chaining something together and really starting to make a run, come back in a game, or put somebody away.
Yeah, and I mean, Shotzi here is on a big pinch. There's nobody here right now for Minnesota. They're kind of just playing around top fire. One player is going to re-pinch this, and accuracy not going to be ready for that, so that will be 2 dead. 3-on-2 on the hill. Optic are flying on through, but it is Vivid and Linz to fight on back. But at least you have Dashy here trying to find number 6 in the cruise. Not going to happen. So even with the first couple of picks there for Optic, Minnesota hold on.
It's just one of these like hills where there's just 2 very clear entrances, right? And like you just heads on a swivel, comms have got to be on point. It can get real messy once the first point of defense drops. But you've done such a good job here, if you are Rocker, holding both sides of this. And Awakening, who maybe starts a bit slow at 3 and 6, he gets 2 to keep the control of the point. But now everybody here from Rocker, or Optic, only 20 seconds left, but they'll get in for a little bit of this scrap time now.
Yeah, and already on rotation is Shotzi, so he's kind of set up over on that side of the map with Pred, but back apartments is Linz. He's able to cut one off. Is he be ready for this re-pinch? He is, but not ready for the gunfight. He had the read, throws a little YY in there, and yeah, he can get caught.
Yeah, it felt like I was watching Kenny on the other side. Just one too many YYs sometimes ends up costing you, but the hold this lead for now is we'll see if Big Wake can get in and win his one. Not going to be able to do it. Gun's too hot for Optic Texas. Vivid tries to get involved. Not happening. On the Rocker side, finally a bit of success. If it's Awakening that's able to get one, and quickly and efficiently he's traded out. The lead continues to grow for Texas.
Yeah, they are controlling this, at least contesting for now, but there is a double kill for accuracy. Kenny, that door hits him in the face. I don't know where that nade went. He's able to dodge it. Trying to line up Rocker, but doesn't happen, so you will take the scrap time if you are Rocker.
Sí, este mapa es bueno, mano. A mí me encanta este mapa.
Gonna have 3 players set up here for Optic.
Dude, Pred can be probably so annoying to play against sometimes. Just gets pushed up, waits in the corner, L triggers, just clotheslines people.
Buena, buena.
Now, a flurry of kills at a big moment in a transitional period to our next hard point as we get set up. It's going to be the ticket side push for Rocker as they're going to be leaving from old. You got Shotzi watching the tunnel push. The rest of Optic Texas will be set up around the point. It's ticket side that this will develop from. You got 3 players grouped up there. So far, if you're Optic, you're keeping them at bay.
I mean, even that nade from Dashy is just going to slow them down. We saw it from his point of view. Throw it. You spawned out. If you were a Rocker, you haven't even gotten past this dumpster. 25 seconds into the hill, all the pushes have been dealt with so far. The holds so good for Optic, as you said. Pred all ready for those gunfights. But Linz and accuracy able to find 2, make that 3, maybe to find some scrap time and a little bit of life here.
Because you haven't had much. You've been doubled up throughout most of this game. The success here in the hard point.
Oh,
you snap if you're Pred, you get some help
Bueno, no fue el que lo mató, pero diablo.
Multi-kill from Awakening through that. Next hard point getting ready to rock and roll, and you're there if you're Rocker. You need a nice hold here. You have got to get P2, and then P3, we'll see what happens. But like these next couple of hard points is everything. You find a break, you find some great time, you have P2 hold if you're Optic Texas, map's done.
Yeah, no doubt about it. This is kind of the last opportunity here for Rocker. We'll see how Optic wants to play this. Spawning up towards the stairs. Starting their gunfights, starting their fights, but you already see Pred on the rotation. Rocker down 70. Let's see if they get us to a map 5. Let's go to a listen here for Rocker.
Tunnel. Rocker's holding cross. Oh, he's already crossed. Pred, he spawned there. There's 3 enemies. The other 3 are all new. They're all new. I'm gonna send a valley.
What up ticket? Need me?
Need me, yeah.
Watch out.
I sent a valley. Crates again.
He's up right.
That's what my guy. You want to try to pinch him?
I'll blue crate, so.
Some. Come. Someone come here.
Okay, go.
I don't know what's in.
Yeah.
Waiting for you guys.
I don't see this guy blue crate. He's just sitting there.
No one's got stairs.
Another garage.
Side of the car?
I'm watching.
Yeah. Watch out.
De hecho, va a ser bien difícil sacar a Optic de ahí. Va a ser bien difícil. Hay mucho head glitch, mano. Mucho head glitch. Mucho head glitch. Vamos.
Checkers, spread.
There's 2 checkers.
Rocker once again on a P2 do such a good job getting it to Dashy. Like they get the fight to Dashy. He's just able to win the fight again. He's the man standing in the hard point, and they're starting to close this game out. You're now going to be around the 2:30 mark. Not many more points needed. Is P3 ready to go?
I mean, 2 minutes and 30 seconds
Woo!
here for
Buena
Dashi
Chotzi.
now on rotation.
Buena
Shotzi's able to win a
Chotzi.
double. He's on 5 in a row, trying to close the door here for Rocker. Vivid and Lins do bring it back, but as you said, 24 seconds. I think it's just so difficult to win Skid Row when you are losing both P2s.
Dashi, the Hill Kitten, what a map it is. Those 2.5, as you mentioned, but Rocker, you're still fighting in this one. What did I say earlier? Like, you get a great P3 into a P4, that is where you can rally and get a dub. You've got a chance to do it here, or the opposite. You get the P3 break if you're Optic and the map is over.
Buena.
Shotzi still here in fighting, back off spawn, able to get Tess, trying to push this one out, but you got the trade through on the other side. One-on-one towards
buena.
the point. Lamar goes big to keep them in and fighting.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, Shotzi just, well, he stays as
Buena.
long enough to allow this. They could fight for the scrap time. He kept it so messy. As Kenny, he's going to be focused on the rotation. 3 dead behind the rivals.
Estamos en ley de 20 segundos más dentro de los objetivos. Ya.
Only need 20 seconds. Pred with the first kill on rotation. Lynn's trying to find an angle through playground, but he gets shut down by nobody else but Shotzi.
You do a good job making that mess at the end, so you can't
Buena.
rotate early if you're Rocker. Optic, such a terrific job. Now, just 7 points need to get the dub.
Buena.
In this one. Is there a miracle left for
Fucking
Rocker?
go.
The door closed
Vamos,
here.
3,
Lins, the
2,
phenom. Can he
1.
be the one to do it? Not
Acabó esta
gonna
mierda,
happen.
papi.
He's traded out.
Acabó esta mierda, papi.
And Optic, Texas, the hard point remains perfect.
Let's go. ¿Verdad? Jugó bien Optic, jugó bastante
And I
bien.
just think with Optic in their hard point, I mean, as you said again, a close game, but when there are moments, they are making the right decisions. They are finding the kills, even just early on. Shotzi, when it basically a 1-on-2 at P2, it's just where at times in the past they've made these mistakes as a squad, it's not happening. And then if there's an opening, their individual skill is closing that door.
Yeah, I think this one they did a good job of just kind of controlling the pace from the get-go. Like where some of the ones I mentioned earlier, like, you know, it's a close game to the halfway point, second set of rotations they take over. They kind of took over from the get-go. They had a little breathing room throughout. I know it doesn't look like it's a blowout, but it was always comfortable. There weren't a lot of lead changes. There weren't those 2 hard points in a row you locked down if you're Rocker. They were always in control. And like for Rocker, if one of those P2 breaks comes in, like the early one or the second, I mean, maybe. But Dashi, the first time, has to put on a clinic. He has to kill everybody. The second time, it's one gunfight, but sometimes that's all you need. Just win that one.
Yeah, you can see sort of the game flow, and yeah, just always that green.
It's not a big lead, but it's a lead.
Yeah,
Vamos a ver cómo le va
here is just a
a Face
recap of
Clan.
the series. I think for Optic fans, you were happy about that map number 2. Trying to find something in that map pool to win, search, or destroy. Testing out things. You haven't played Karachi here until today. And now they are in top 3, but I will say before we go, I mean, props to Minnesota Rocker with what they have done, the turnaround to finish top 4, but Optic, they're in the losers final.
Yeah, no, amazing job considering how you started, but Optic, the storyline now is they continue on, and Joe DeLuca's favorite player, Kemi, he's on stage.
True.
Thank you so much, Merck and Maven. Boston, give it up for Optic Texas. They're going to move on to the elimination finals. Kenny, the job's not done yet.
Nope.
But talk to me about this series. How you guys feeling, you know, being the first match of the day?
I mean, Optic doesn't really play first ever. I've learned that since I've been on the team, but overall, I mean, we've been confident ever since this event started. So overall, it's kind of just, I mean, everybody's seen it yesterday, just fixed up on our S&D, which we came in 1 today. Kind of scammed the control. We're going to go back and look at that. But overall, I'm feeling super, super confident. Top 3 right now, so looking for our next match.
All right, there you go. Top 3 looking for your next match. Now, in the off season, you know, you're not with the Thieves no more, but with the quest to win again and standing in front of your 2 old teammates, how's it going to feel playing against these guys? And, you know, you ready to come out here and get this dub?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm going to be playing against 2 of my good friends. Already played against Draws. He's 2-0 versus me so far. Definitely looking for some revenge on that. But haven't got to play Dill yet, so looking forward to whoever we get to compete against.
All right, all right. Now, you got the entire, you got everybody out here in Boston standing up for you. What do you want to say to them? They've been making so much noise, Optic, and everyone at home.
I mean, I'm usually against you guys, but this year I'm for you guys, so I appreciate all the love and support. Gonna keep moving.
All right, gotta keep moving. One more time, Boston. Make some noise for Optic Texas. Chris, take us away.
Thank you so much, Blaze. And it's so smart to see Optic bringing the Kryptonite and putting it into their starting lineup. Kenny and the crew get the job done as expected. They do it in 4 games. But Optic didn't drop the search this time around. They dropped the control. A little bit of a fluke there potentially in game 3, Allie.
Yeah, just a little hiccup. Honestly, that search and destroy, it just showed a testament of VOD review. They knew exactly where Minnesota Rocker was the entire time.
Yep.
But what I want to focus on is Dashy's new role for Optic Texas.
Bruce.
The Hill Kitten era for Dashy has been my favorite era. Yesterday, he had 2 minutes and 40 seconds in the map number 1. Today, he had 1 minute and 42 and then 2 minutes and 30 seconds in the skid row. I love it because Dashy, you know he can get those clutch kills when you need to, when the players around the hill are losing those gunfights and getting them weak.
It's just when you put that guy in the most unbreakable hood ever created. Like, the guy's got one of the best shots ever created. He's not going to lose those close up and personal gunfights, and he at least gets it done there. That's where the game changed. Like, they blew it open every single time at P2. 2 full 60s, there's no way in hell you find a W.
Dashy seems to be evolving. Optic seems to be evolving. Already guaranteed top 3, $60,000 and 60 points. Minnesota now out with 4th place. They earned 45 points, so that will help them jump up the leaderboard.
Yeah, and they got something to build upon as well. Minnesota, they definitely had a fantastic tournament. They ran into the hot hand in Optic Texas. And honestly, like, Optic Texas played that almost flawless in both of the hard points, right? Like, typically with these Optic Texas teams, you heard Clint Joe talking about it. It's mixy, second rotation, things get out of hand. No, thus far, the last couple of days, I mean, they're 6-0 in their HPs, and Optic Texas, when they're getting their opportunity, Chris, they are running away with it. Think back to map 1. It was a close game. What happens? They forced them out Palace spawn, and the game is over with, right? You give them an inch, they're taking a mile. Same thing with this one, setting up on P2. They do just enough. Dashy stays alive. They get all that time, and then, all right, you know what? Screw it. We've done enough. We'll give you P3. Have it. We're just going to apply enough pressure to withhold that spawn for the next hill. We close it out there, and they're not letting it come down to these crazy gunfights like it usually does. A disciplined effort from Optic is very impressive.
Allie, everyone in the chat is talking about Optic FaZe, Optic Toronto, whoever falls down to play against Optic next. Can Optic afford to start off as slow as they did against Minnesota?
They cannot. Honestly, with that map number 1, obviously Optic Texas won it about 100 points, 250, 149. But I will say, to that testament, Minnesota Rocker made a lot of mistakes as well. They allowed Optic some rotations that they should not have given them with the old time at like 20 seconds. But we are looking at the play game. This is Pred's 4-piece. I mean, he has been on a heater since yesterday.
That was so dirty. He knew exactly where any of the threats were coming from, executed not 1, but all 3. Pred is having an MVP-like tournament.
And that is their situation in search and destroy that they need to make sure they keep up. You get those aggressive plays out of your SMGs. What was it? 9 kills for Pred, 9 kills for Shotzzy. But then when you see when he's playing with that confidence, he's aggressively pushing it up towards B. Minnesota caught off guard. They're thinking no one crosses towards the site. We're all good to throw the smoke down. Let's get the bomb down. But Pred, in those situations, he thrives, man. He knows that the pressure's going to be on him. I got to make the play happen, and he usually always comes out on top.
It's Championship Sunday. Boston, are you enjoying yourselves? I think they can hear us today. There we go. The Boston fans are filing in, and everyone's getting fired up for that next winner's bracket matchup. Remember, you can sink and earn. All you got to do, pop out your cell phone, scan that QR code, and it doesn't matter what calendar you're on, we will put your favorite team on it. Sink and earn. Get your calling card today. When we come back, it's your winner's bracket finals. Who's locking up the first spot in the grand finals? They'll either be wearing red or purple. Stay tuned to find out.
Esta es la pelea que yo quiero ver de verdad, la de FaZe contra Toronto.
haven't planned.
Crazy with the rage, dangerous and rage. I ain't wanna take light, look into my eyes. I'm a killer inside, coming for the prize. Do you really want these problems? I put you in that coffin, but I'm never Johnson. You think this ain't a stop it? Hungry for the beef, leave you obsolete. See my lines deep, see me in the streets if you want the heat. Yeah.
I'm interested in making as opposed to making friends. Double bags, I've been paranoid, having a safe, so take a check. Finishing his drink should only take a sec, but Mark just cut me off, he told me that I go on stage and tan. Walk out to my own shit on the main event, Vinci my cologne after the show, she told me it was a favorite sin. Sprint advantage spacious, we could take it friends. What happened next, you could take a guess.
Welcome back into the MGM Music Hall. It is time for your winners bracket as we find out who will be the first team to advance to our grand finals this evening. Atlanta, perfect up to this point. 9-0 in match count. They've gone to a few game fives, but they've never lost them. On the other side, if you're looking at stats, Toronto may be the scariest team in the tournament left.
I mean, I don't even know if they feel like they're at a tournament right now. I mean, they are 6-0 in map count. The two matches that they have played, they have wiped the floor with them. They're just ready to lock in today. Obviously, a big match here, but it's one of those things where you're like, how good is this team?
Let's start with the Canadians here representing the Ultra. We have Envoy, Scrap, Insight, and of course Tobias, aka Kleenex.
I mean, they've just looked incredible. I mean, they're 11-1 in hard points right now. They're on an 8-win spree. 8 hard points in a row that they have won. They're maybe looking to break the record here against Atlanta FaZe. And then on the flip side, they've had some really high kill search and destroys. And when it comes to monster pregame, Toronto Ultra, Scrap and Kleenex are laying monsters. Again, I talked about that high octane S&D. Scrap has a 2.0 in search destroy with Kleenex following with a 1.4. And that's not all. Insight also has a 1.4. So this whole team is putting up the slaying.
Nameless, the only knock on Toronto has been they haven't run into anyone good yet. Do you agree with that?
I mean, no. They've wiped the floor with New York in the online portion where New York.
Bueno, prepárense, corillo, que esto se va a dar buenísimo. Esta partida se van a dar dura. Ya cuando termine esto, corillo, FaZe Clan y Toronto, pues voy a dejar el directo ahí, obviamente. Tengo que irme a descansar para trabajar ahorita, pero nada, seguimos. Vamos a estar bien pendientes a los próximos Call of Duty League, los próximos Majors. Se los vamos a estar más transmitiendo para que ustedes se lo disfruten.
But I do think it comes down to the control. That round 5, we know how it goes.
I'm told the players are ready, so let's skip the Atlanta talk and go straight into predictions.
Están en las finales ahora, Natanael. Están en las finales, veo. Entonces, esta es la ronda 4 de eliminación.
But my heart is telling me it's Toronto today. I'm locking in the Ultra.
So you're not smart?
No.
I got Ultra in the winner's final.
It's all about passion, Allie. How passionate are you?
I'm pretty passionate. Honestly, this is two Titans going at it, especially with these map sets. They're all going at it on the best one. So, FaZe up. Atlanta FaZe.
Game 5 or game 4?
Ooh, game 4.
Game 4. Nameless, what do you got?
I'm going with Ultra. They've only lost 2 maps in 2024. They've been unreal.
3 Ultras and a FaZe. Fans, let us know whose allegiance you lie with today as we send it to the main stage. Guy Blaze, take it away.
All right, Boston, it is time for the winners finals. Only 2 teams remaining that are undefeated. But one is going to have to take an L. Coming to the stage first, I know they're ready because I can feel the chills. Here comes the Kings of the North, Toronto Ultra. Scrap, Envoy, Insight, and Kleenex. Ready to get it done. Toronto Ultra.
You could tell this season was different. They went and packed a punch and they bring in Envoy, and everybody has reaped the benefits. The stats are through the roof, but they have to go through the top dog. Atlanta FaZe has not lost. Let's see if they can get it done. Bring out Atlanta.
All right. It's time to bring out the team that has had a perfect villain arc thus far, but let's see if they can keep that hot streak alive. The boys from the South, Atlanta FaZe! FaZe, Draza, Sim, Abizi, and Celium. FaZe up for Atlanta FaZe.
Death taxes in Atlanta in the top 4 and trying to make it into the grand finals. It is time to see if Draza can break the curse for Atlanta FaZe and they can take home a W. But first, they got to go against an all-time rival in Toronto Ultra. Blaze, this is going to be a spicy second match on the day.
Oh, it's gonna be so spicy. Some may even say it's the grand finals, but I know it's gonna be an epic matchup. And I can't think of two better people to cast this one. Alan, J Stud, let's do this.
Let's do this. It's just so weird to see our two Titans have yet to cross paths until today. It's been flawless to this point for Toronto. Atlanta may be tested by better caliber of opponents, but like the desk mentioned, they've been icy.
They've been icy, and it's all been through the search and destroys. They get to a game 5, it's basically locked up for Atlanta FaZe. But on the opposite side for Toronto Ultra, I think Joe on the desk touched on it perfectly. How good is this roster? Because the only real tough test that they had in the online qualifiers was New York. They 3-0'd them, and then you see the results of New York at this event. So I don't really know where to put them. Obviously, their stats in HP, they're beating teams by 80, sometimes by 120. Everybody is above a 1.2.
Yep.
They can do no wrong. But now you're going up against the Titan on the other side in Atlanta FaZe, so it has to be the same exact effect for them.
And the funny thing about how this series layout has happened, this Karachi opening hardpoint is where New York got slaughtered. 100-point club by Toronto. And on average, Toronto's beating teams by 144 points. But the Search and Destroy map 2 has been the bread and butter of what Atlanta FaZe have done in Search and Destroy. So major opportunities for both these two teams to showcase their strengths right off the get-go.
And I just think right into this map, number one, if you're Atlanta FaZe, we know that you guys have some of the best talent to ever play Call of Duty. But it has to be the fundamentals if you want to take down a team like Toronto Ultra, because they are great in the rotations. They're also great in holds, which is number 1 and number 1. You have to come out swinging early on with those fundies.
This should be the pinnacle of Modern Warfare 3 to this point, based on how both these teams have looked. Toronto and FaZe winner finals, and it's Atlanta in the hardpoint to start things off.
Yeah, Atlanta already the first one's in. Trades are abound. That's now 3 dead. Toronto Ultra have to slow it down now.
¿A quién ustedes les van? ¿A quién les van, Corillo? ¿Atlanta o a Toronto?
Soaking up as much P1 time as they possibly can with only 30 seconds left.
Good elimination from Draza to kick things off, but Ultra on their rebreak attempt do clear the hard point. A couple of pinstripe kills start to come through. Celium not in a position to challenge anyone onto the hard point. He's trusting Draza to do that, and he's very successful in his endeavor. Sip just there to save a life, and once more, Atlanta soaking more time now, looking to get towards P2.
And now you're forced to get a break if you are Atlanta FaZe. Everybody from Toronto Ultra rotate nice and early. Kleenex finds 2 through the middle alley, so you have to slow down. Draws is walking away with the final 10, but that's going to put you at 40-2 to start this game off. Now you have to slowly work your way up the red. No players from Atlanta are going to go for deep pinches. They're all going to use their guns to try to attack from the front.
Now, FaZe has played this map a lot, but they're only breaking hard points on this map 16% of the time. So rotations are going to be key for Atlanta, or just changing the mold. Abizi able to open up some space from the front side of the hard point. Insight right there to shut the door right back in their face. Atlanta not able to find an entry through Hotel.
They can't get in. They can't get in, but they keep on trading. So as long as that player in hill with just scrap just stays alive, your teammates are coming off spawn to pick up those crossfires. So already a lead chain is about to be abound. With 25 seconds left, you're going to force Atlanta FaZe to hit that early rotation, and it's going to be Draza nice and early while the rest of his teammates apply the pressure, but they don't find anything. A full 60 response from Ultra.
And a 5-1 start from Scrap, already at 45 seconds.
Vamos a ver, Liam, vamos a ver.
You want to talk about not scamming inside the hard point.
Por lo menos en este match quiero que gane
We've seen Atlanta play this map previously back in December. This hard point was a Jekyll and Hyde for them. Sometimes good, sometimes not so much. So far, owning rotation, looking good in their setup.
Yeah, they thought that P3 was a hill that was easily being able to be broken, but they figured that out quickly. We have to be the team there early.
Dale, qué partida más fea.
We know what the young Prince is able to get done, but that's 3 dead. Now he's the only player through the middle of the map. He's waiting for his teammates who are spawning over towards the bus side to win a gunfight onto Draza. They can't take him down, but Selling with that teammate, an opening is now here.
And Scrap finds long-range shots onto Selling from inside the hill, so Atlanta surprisingly actually do spawn out. Ultra not expecting it initially. Now, of course, they're reclaiming the ground that they have just gained. 30 seconds till the fight for, and finally, Toronto will step foot into the hill. Atlanta, quickly though, through Market, a chance to wrap around the back, hit this from multiple points, and as Abizi opens things up, it's just Kleenex left alive, and he cannot fend off the Atlanta push.
That's a big break coming in from Atlanta, but it's only only for 20 seconds. And now that rotation is gifted over to Toronto. Let's Sip has something to say. He only takes down one. The trade is going to be there. So Toronto Ultra able to stop the bleeding, able to now put themselves in the setup in towards the new hill, but we do have one player in Scrap watching over extensions. There's only 2 players from Ultra in towards the fountain.
I mean, Scrap is anchoring anchors on this backside of P2, not moving at all from that bus stop. Actually, BZ long range takes care of them, so Atlanta now will deal with that threat, take their focus over towards the front. Cellian from the high ground clears off the hard point into BZ, right back into the mix, fighting himself clearance, and there's a break for Atlanta FaZe.
That's a big break. They eliminate every single player from Ultra in through the fountain side, and now you have to force your way in through their front door, trying to tunnel their way out of red side. Atlanta FaZe, they were able to flip the switch and take the lead right on back. With only 30 seconds left, Ultra, they still don't want to give up all this time. Use your tags, hit a couple wall bangs, make sure the door is open so you get some better line of sight, but it's still Ultra. Off the rotation, should be able to set up for next. Unless Draza and Simp combine for 2. They're already flipping the spawn. This is a bad case scenario for Ultra.
Yeah, really, really tricky spot. Although FaZe don't really fully spawn over towards new. There's still going to be a fight over to the top of the street. Cellian already in a little bit of trouble. Backside sandbags. Toronto not really worried about it all that much, and maybe you should be. Cell still alive, finally dealt with by Scrap, and the push for Ultra has to go through the old time as Atlanta now has themselves rooted around the new hill.
We're basically tied up in this game. 1A, 1B before this tournament started. It's where they had these teams ranked. So you best believe this is how the game is going to look. But it's a BZ starting off with 2. Toronto Ultra now just trying to find an opening kill, but the BZ is not slowing down. He eventually does get traded by Kleenex, but that's already job well done. 30 seconds wiped off of that game clock already.
Cell and Simp seeing each other from afar, know that they've got each other's cross angles already covered. Draza, the one inside the hard point. Pre-fire coming through, and Ultra just essentially trying to bait out position, but it doesn't matter. Oh, it's flawless on the hold attempt. 20 seconds going to be guaranteed for FaZe.
And look how quick Atlanta FaZe are moving. A clean 4 dead, they know. Now we have to take some ground. We got to put ourselves in a position to play around that P1. You already have players towards top AC. One player trying to make his way up towards top 3, but it's all on Envoy, who finds himself behind enemy lines. He's just waiting for his teammates to gain the information before he attacks. Even though a BZ gets ones, the trade is there for Ultra. A clean 3 dead. They should be the team with the initial time here.
And it's really interesting to see how FaZe's tempo has come by way of not just a BZ, but also Simp at times, both pulling out rivals and finding some unbelievable gunfight wins. But all that told, we're looking at a 50-point game. Ultra digging into the deficit with a lot of early time here on 1.
Yeah, this is good too, because the setup right now, you're making it super difficult. They already found 3 kills around the map. Draza trying to find an opening through Fountain, cannot finish the kill onto Kleenex, but now position known. An unfortunate team nade comes in from Sip. So it's still Ultra holding on, basically to a full 60 so far with only 30 seconds left. Atlanta are now forced to make a decision. Do we rotate? Do we attack with this pressure? We're finding the kills.
And they're able to actually finesse some of the Scrap time as well. Clean eliminations for FaZe. And you saw Scrap coming off spawn was trying to get through Dumpster Alley to get to P2 first, but he was shut down immediately by a BZ. So 150 plays 124. FaZe already in position over towards new. It just comes down to, do these players on the old time find a quick transition? This time, not so much. Toronto trying to contest early.
Yeah, Toronto trying to contest early right through red, though. No one's going to go over the backside Dumpster hop up. They want to win these gunfights on the opposite side, and they start off with the initial 2. Now a BZ has to try to finesse. You got to dance around the cafe. Doesn't dance for long. Inside is able to take him down. An instant break coming in from Ultra.
Big moment in this first map right here, right now. Ultra trying to get themselves in their preferred setup. Inside able to assist, but Draza Simp following up. FaZe could still absolutely fly forward and hit this, but it's Scrap for the double. A quick hold for Ultra, and that will push FaZe looking at rotation, and it just really comes down to, can Ultra finish this time off? A prime time to take a listen into their comps.
He's staying flat. He's just jumping down. Cast out. Cast out. Mid alley, mid alley. Mid alley weak. Mid alley weak. Mid alley dead. Gonna be one more. I'm holding right. Give me mid alley. Could be third. I'm only holding right. Yeah, I'm holding right. What's up? Spawn next to me? It's gonna spawn next to you. Mid alley, mid alley. Okay, pitch mid, pitch mid. They're gonna run at me here. Yeah, mid. Time. Another time. I'm hitting the back door, Ruffy. It's gonna be close. Look for 2, bro. Only one up. Back door. Dead. Could be right, Toby. Yeah, already right, I think. Yeah, already right. Huts. You get out. I have time. Huts is weak, dead. I'm mid alley. One more bike pinch right now. I'm mid, by the way. Okay. I hear you. Could be dirt. Yeah, we're looking for 1. I'm looking dirt. If Draws is dirt, Draws weak. I have a little bike, so you go top third. They're gonna hit me in there. Yeah, I'm right. I'm naded. Double nade. Double stuff. Mid alley. Mid alley. I can't hold mid alley. Mid alley's dead. Okay. I have all mid. You're already close him. Okay, help. Watch out. Let's go back then. Nice. Split the back. Third. Nice. Let's get dirt by. Close to me, I think. He's in the back door. I push. He's in the back door. Just hold. I'm here. Sit on hill. Sit inside hill now. Weak on the wall. Safe spot. Nice. Look what?
Been already.
Nothing mid lane.
Probably new.
Yeah, it's definitely new, probably. I'm coming, that'll be alright. They're gonna spawn dirt.
Two inside new. I'm climbing
Take your ass time. Take your ass time.
Yeah, I'm going south.
Yo, top church already. Yeah, top church shot on mid. And then fucking 2 times.
Who's Thunder?
No, wait.
Nah, I think he's shot up there.
Yo, listen, I'm gonna pinch dirt off hold, okay?
Stop
New weak.
Stop
What do you mean? I shoot it.
top one shot.
I think he's just really weak.
Stop church.
Listen, every kill you get, they're gonna spawn out behind you guys.
Yeah, spawn sap.
Top channel out. He's top long. Hey, bedroom
Give me a
now.
sec. Might be able to pinch.
Yeah.
2 top church.
Take
2
pinches
top
out.
church. I
Take
got
pinches out. Nice.
one.
One
Top
more.
there.
B9.
Top church.
Those
Weak.
Nice.
Weak top church.
One time, what's up?
Okay, set the time.
I don't see it.
All spawning dirt.
It's child.
Nice.
Bottom two.
Church.
Nice.
Church in the right corner.
I'm absolute.
Right corner up top. Like close.
That's come close. They could be pinching.
Set on me on.
One didn't help.
One more
One
time.
more. Shoot.
Nice. 3.
Break coming through for Toronto. A key moment as the third hard point was near flawless, and now a chance to really get close to that 250 mark.
And Ultra, they are making the right plays. As soon as we jump into the listening, they gain the remaining junk time off the cafe, but they hit that rotation over towards P3, and that's what blows it wide open. And then when you find a break in towards Fountain, which is very difficult to do, you're just getting closer and closer to the finish line. It's just one more play. One more set of kills can close it out this next hill.
Oh, big double from Sif. Keeps Hotel, at least in the name for Atlanta for now, but Envoy in the new hill opens up and creates a bit of a problem here that FaZe have to deal with. Oh my goodness. Fun with doors featuring Envoy there for a moment, but Atlanta pick up the elimination, and now they've got all 4 members ready to go for the hard point.
Now, if you are Ultra, just take your time. Use your tax, blow up a couple of trophies. Great vision right there from Scraps to set it up. Finds the first kill, does get taken down, so no cruise missile gonna be earned. But right now, the tac usage from Atlanta FaZe is just slowing down Ultra, but the guns aren't. Envoy with the big kill on Abizi. He's trying to find the second cannot onto Draza, but they are in, and they can still close it out here.
Atlanta still reinforcing from the front side. Scrap trying to keep everyone at arm's reach, but their trades will be through. Atlanta have to find a way to cut through this hard point. The stuns again continue to land. Envoy now last one remaining, trying to value his life, but not going to be able to do it. 200 to 240. Scrap time going to Atlanta. We're going back to rubble.
And it's all about rotation. Ultra put themselves in a great position. You have top 3, you had Fountain control. You just have to put someone in towards the point. Kleenex is there for the trade, but right now it's Atlanta FaZe coming out on top of these engagements. That's now 3 dead. Scrap has to make something happen.
Waiting for help. Taking a tally of what's in the hard point. Simp down low. Only able to survive for so long, and the first 3 kills go the way of Toronto.
Yeah,
has to be a break from Draza. 243 to 214. Abizi's name gets there, but can he actually follow up on it? Last couple of seconds are in, and Ultra will find a way to masterclass the second set to take map 1.
Ganó Ultra esta partida, este match. FaZe no jugó mal. FaZe no jugó mal.
It was such a nail-biting hard point until we got to the second half of this game. Even though you give up a lot of time to Atlanta FaZe around that P1, Ultra are more focused on being the first team to complete a chain of 2 hard points in this game. And it was the cafe to the P3 hill. You put yourself up by at least 30 to 40 points. And then when you find that break in towards Fountain, you just keep the game scrappy. And usually in these final moments, Atlanta FaZe got a different gene to them. But yesterday, in both the hard points that they played versus Optic, in those final moments, they did not clutch up. And when you're playing against the best hard point team in the game, they have that inside of them, and they take map number 1.
It's a really interesting scoreboard as well, because all weekend long we've been shouting from the highest of rooftops Kleenex and what he's been able to do in respawn. He was held at bay here, only getting 15 and of course just the 3,200 damage. So for Atlanta, if you're putting that into your game plan, mission accomplished. But I really do believe we have to go back to that second rotation at that diner hard point, because there was the late decision for FaZe to try to break through the final 15 seconds, and then they completely miss out on third. That felt like where the game really changed.
That's what the fundamentals needed to be in play, because that was the game changer. You're talking about 20 to 25 seconds left in towards Cafe. You send 3 players towards the old hill. I know it's good to get that time, but a full 60 is way better on the opposite end. And unfortunately, that decision comes back to bite them. And now you're going into a search and destroy where they can rely on it. It's been their bread and butter. That's what's been getting them through a lot of series. We saw it yesterday. But Toronto Ultra are not no slouches in that. No. I know that's currently their worst game mode, but they're on a 4-game search and destroy win streak. And it's versus some of the best S&D teams that we currently have in the game other than Atlanta FaZe. We're talking about Seattle. We're talking about New York. And the way Seattle were playing Search and Destroy, got them all the way to a top 6. So you best believe Toronto Ultra have been putting in the work.
100%. And I think it's on top of that, of course, the desk have been talking about it. We've been talking about it a lot in the green room. You know, is Toronto actually going to be the most elite hardpoint team maybe we've ever seen in this EDL? Because like you mentioned, they were sweeping everyone completely out of the water. But here, Atlanta putting together a good fight, yet still, it just feels like Ultra's decision-making is going to be a staple for them no matter how long this series goes. And that's not just going to exist in Respawn. We expect that to also show up in the Surge.
Yeah, it has to show up in the Surge because the map that they're going into next is an invasion. They've only played it one time, and they lost it in the beginning of the year to LAT all the way in a 6-5 fashion. But as you take a look at the gameplay, you can tell just back and forth. When you have two Titans going at it, this is what it's going to look like. But when it started to pull away was that P2 to P3. You find a break at P4, you keep it scrappy at P5, you set up properly and get the right kills at the right time to close the game out at that P1 HP. Just they don't make mistakes when you talk about that hardpoint game.
Yeah, I mean, what, 18 points for Atlanta compared to the 80 points that Toronto were able to get in that stretch? Yeah, huge moment right there. Okay, so now let's really take the conversation deep dive in towards this invasion search and destroy. Again, statistically speaking, even though Toronto have a couple of search and destroy map losses, those losses have come in round 9 or beyond. Where on the other side, Atlanta is going to be looking at this with their mouths watering. 5-0 on invasion search, and they have been unbelievable playing around the objective on both sides of the bomb.
And the crazy thing is, we saw it on full display yesterday. It's just the way that they are able to read the map, read the setups of the opposing teams. And when they do that, that's when they slowly start to work different routes. Different plays come into play. You've seen Simp dropping bombs just so he can hit a certain route yesterday. So Atlanta FaZe just got to keep that bread and butter underneath them in S&D.
And on top of that, seeing the invasion also show up for the control. Both teams, again, have been good across just about every single map. But in particular, look at some of the numbers that this Atlanta FaZe team is able to put into control. Hey, they're not just really great at defense, 14-5 overall, but their offense has also been super successful, and that has also been spotlighted throughout this weekend.
Yeah, that's good, man. The fact that you're able to win a couple offenses, we saw it yesterday on High Rise. They had some of the quickest attacking rounds. They got one dug win segments, and they also got them done in kills. So it's an all-out square up when you talk about that control, but we'll get to that later as we look at the matchup on this invasion more specifically. Obviously, Atlanta FaZe are sitting at 5-0, but there's a lot of odds that you can go back and watch, a lot of plays that you can read, and I feel like the players that need to be able to shut down the aggressive players on the opposite side for Atlanta, I'm really looking at Kleenex to shine here.
I like that, and you see that 1-5 attack win-loss record. The other factor of this is that Toronto has not yet planted the bomb at all. So that is going to have to be, I think, focus number one here for Ultra when we see them on the offensive side, where for Atlanta, the numbers, you can find them in any form on any side. So let's see, can we see Atlanta bounce back, use their best map mode combination as a way to tie up this series? Again, winners finals here in Boston, and we're loading on in for the invasion search and destroy. A lot of focus here towards if Atlanta could just come out swinging and put Toronto down early.
And I think if you're Atlanta, this is a must-win search and destroy. It's a square when you talk about the control, but this has been your game mode all season. You need to be able to respond. And they're going to be the team on defense early on, but you know there's no trophy systems into play, so Ultra can take advantage if they want to use their attacks to try to take him off of this tank, but you already see the positioning ground. Simp has found his way into Broken.
Envoy checks it. Oh, that's great information. Takes the battle with a pistol, backs off. Not a lot of help here initially from Kleenex, but they do have Simp trapped. There's the gunfight. Oh my goodness. The fact that he chooses to step into the smoke for the battle, unreal. Envoy does confirm the trade. We'll go 3v3.
3v3 now. Abizi on the opposite side of the map, though, is able to take down Scrap. So now it's a 3v2. Envoy and Kleenex, the SMGs for the Ultra. 45 seconds left. They have some information on where Draza is playing. You know that Abizi just got a kill by that A site, but you don't know yet where Celium is, and he's going to be the assist man over towards that B-bomb.
That nade actually confirms that Cell should still stay on this side of the map. A little tag over towards what looked to be Envoy, the bomb carrier. 25 seconds remaining. How do Ultra make a decision? It looks like they're going to try to re-wrap and really just isolate Abizi. Good kill comes through. Cell on the wrap, making to the cross, is at least somewhat contested. Sees Kleenex towards the bomb, but doesn't see Envoy on the cross, so this bomb's going to get planted.
That timing right there from Celium is not the best, but it's now going to be a 2v2. You had Draza going a deep pinch, but look at the spot right now from Kleenex. I don't know if Celium's going to be able to spot him.
This has got to be good contact here for Cell. Kleenex laying prone. He pops up, finds the first contact, but similarly so, Draza able to turn this into a 1v1. Kleenex, the re-wrap back. 27 seconds on the clock. Draza holding firmly over the top shots. Oh, evenly exchanged. Both players down low. Draza tries to force the gunfight, it's Ultra who win the elimination and the first round.
Oh, that's a big 2v3 as well.
No lo digan, papi.
Talking
La que hay.
about Envoy starting it off by taking down a BZ onto the site, but
No, el café nunca falla, papá.
Selling was getting bad timing. He was able to spot Envoy cross with that bomb. He probably plays it a little bit different, more aggressive.
Papi, Ultra vino a joderle la existencia
But Reese draws it like a book. And at least Toronto taking the first.
Huge. Already talking about their lack of success offensively. Yeah. They get the bomb down and they hold. So job well done here for Toronto to start things off. Atlanta's now first opening attempt on their offense. And the biggest thing about them, offensively speaking, is that they have been unbelievable. They hold 90% of their post plants when they get the bomb down. That has to be a focus.
Yeah, if you're on Toronto Ultra, just don't let that bomb go down. We know how difficult it is to retake.
Yeah.
But only a minute left in this round. 2-2 split right now from Atlanta FaZe. Draws and Simp slowly trying to work their way up through Broken, but you see Toronto Ultra. They only have one player calling out information on that side of the map. They're trying to set up those aggressive SMGs to time these flanks.
And what timing does Envoy have to get activated? You've got Kleenex kind of establishing a threat over towards Dark, but there's Envoy through DVD. They just completely miss him on the setup, and now all of a sudden Simp is trapped. He needs help. Cell is stuck on the other side of the map. This is essentially a 2v3 on the B side.
Scrap knows that Cell loves to go for that deep flank, so he's going to continuously hold down to this right street, but there's only 35 seconds left. Atlanta have to get a move on it. They just can't take down the King Prince. It's now 2 on the round, 4v2 left up to Simp and Cell.
And Simp is still stuck. Cell just cannot get back across the map. Simp would have to do it all himself, and he's just stuck between a rock and a hard place. Nowhere to go. Sheer perfection from Ultra's first defensive setup.
And you can just tell that they watched that VOD yesterday. They know that Selim always likes to be the island player. Whenever they're attacking B, he's slowly working up alongside Street, so you can go for that deep flank and catch a couple players on the back end. But Scrap was not budging. He knew that he was on that side of the map, but it all falls into the hands of Envoy. The fact that he puts himself in that position in towards DVD, finds the first, and then eventually finds a second onto a BZ, already job well done from
a lesson in discipline as well, because he doesn't even make first nor second contact. It's his teammates from the front that enable him to make the play. So Envoy 5-1 through 2 rounds. Mercy. FaZe setting up their next defense. Bit of aggression here from a BZ, playing just a little bit cheeky on the A side of the map. Help from Celium beyond, as Ultra have barely left spawn and somehow still find first blood.
It's a big first blood onto Draza. Now you know that that's the guy who watches over B. You just have to clear out Broken, because that's where Simp likes to play, but they're not even going to contest that side of the map. Going to force a couple players from Atlanta FaZe. Hit that early rotation over towards B as you see Cell give up that right street, and that's the opening for Ultra to hit the go button.
Big 1v1 for BZ. Follow-up good, though. Quick from Toronto to capitalize on the trade, and they're immediately turning that into a bomb plant. You still have Insight floating over towards the B side of the map. He's missed this defensive rotation, though, so Simp gets us back to a 2v2. Kleenex looking for an angle to catch this trade. Hasn't seen anything as of yet, and both Ultra players are on an island.
Yeah, they're just waiting. They're just waiting to see how many flanks are going to be inbound, but Kleenex takes down the first. If he can find this kill, that's a cruise missile going to be earned.
¡No! Ya le, pero esta gente se está alejando de Ultra. ¿Qué está pasando, FaZe Clan?
Back of Insight, finding that first blood.
Yo que dije que ustedes están bien duros. Me vienen y me decepcionan así.
Like
¿Qué está pasando?
Oh yeah,
always
absolutely.
there for the trade.
¿Qué está pasando con esta gente? ¿Qué está pasando?
Quick trust, especially in that last 2v2, both players completely isolated from one another.
No, literalmente el competitivo se trata de campear.
3-0 tally. I mean, come on.
El que crea que esto es full rush está bien equivocado.
The way that they've been having recently, it's been 6-2 or better for Ultra in all their their last 4 S&Ds. But back to the defensive side they go. Atlanta, around this point of the game is when they start to make those mid-round adjustments. You know what Ultra like to do. 2 players towards B.
Esto es el mejor equipo que campee y sepa rotar bien.
A lot of vacancy over towards this waterside street. Scrap gets back into position a bit late, so him and Celium going at it once again. FaZe still looking for some space through mid-map. Nade's getting cooked up. This is all going over towards mid-tank. You see Kleenex position. This is a beautiful look at it. He can watch all of this cross without even being under threat.
I didn't even know that that's an angle. He's on top of the flower pot, puts down a couple shots, but now you got to back down. And then at leash, Envoy has all the info. It's not going to be over towards B, so the rest of Toronto Ultra are stacking around this 8-point
But with only 40 seconds left, Atlanta got to get a move on the objective.
Oh, lots of shots from Draza, but Kleenex, nearly able to get out, but does get collected by Simp. Long-range shots from Scrap, has a lot of
Dale, buena.
Goodness,
Ay, se le dio en la madre ahí.
23 seconds on the clock. Bomb will be planted. Long route from Envoy. He's got his steady popped, and he is I mean, he's taking the scenic route. He is deep towards gas.
Yeah, I think the first kill he wants to focus on is taking down Celian. You open in that right street. That's
buena,
enough. Scrap
buena.
one. Easy there for the trade. Envoy now puts himself in a position to take down Sim. Instant 2v2 with 30 seconds.
Insight still holding over towards the A side of the map. 25 seconds to go. FaZe locked in hand around this freezer side. And they're not giving Ultra a chance at a long-range gunfight. Celium able to find Envoy. Now it's just down to searching out where Insight's position. Cell will confirm the intel. Abizi just throwing shoulders, making sure, nope, you're not going to hop on this bomb. Has to force the gunfight, and now no more time for the defuse. Atlanta going to get on the board.
Gracias, señor. Por fin ganaron una. Por fin ganaron un bendito round.
Once they find that kill onto Kleenex to mid courtyard, they know that that's the farthest guy pushed up. Now we can put the bomb down, make sure we watch our deep flank, and even when it turns into a 2v2, it's still the teamwork on full display in towards the cafe. And Celium watches over one, finds the first, and then Abizi with the shoulders. Just make sure that defuse is not happening. Atlanta finally put one on the board.
Big round right there, too, because if that one goes awry, you start to get in your head a little bit of how are Ultra finding all this space to work with? I mean, come on. Feels like everything's being challenged. So a chance to reset the momentum. Maybe even the patterns in the game. Stuns, keeps it easy from going any further forward through dark, and he's got to kind of forfeit any advancements as he just holds this position looking for crossing corners.
He's just playing for early info. He should have just got spotted by Envoy. Actually, now with him putting down a couple shots, position now known. And Draza this time around is not going to be super aggressive up towards B, but Simp with the crossfire finds the first blood onto Kleenex.
Huge cover because Kleenex was literally right behind Abizi. So 4v3 situation, Ultra still holding the bomb on the other side of the map.
No le he metido al ranked, mano.
Simp just looking to see if he can catch somebody over the top of the half wall, but at the moment, FaZe comfortable in their setup, all things told.
Punto determinado del ranked, mano. Lo que te vas a encontrar es hacker por ahí para abajo. Estoy como que no perder mucho el tiempo en eso, porque si le voy a invertir tiempo para después que haga Jan Hacker nada más desde una...
You already see the SMGs from Atlanta FaZe setting up those pinches.
Desde un punto determinado, pues no estoy como que motivado para eso, mano.
Pushes him off. Bomb now being planted. Also, the threat for Simp through dark has been established. Bomb planted, 43 seconds on the clock. How do you set up this retake? Not going to happen by Cell. Draws a lot of damage, but can't confirm any eliminations. You've got both ARs kind of searching down anyone over towards the B side of the map, and BZ can't get through. This post plant is holding. Shots into Simp. He has to take cover. Envoy finishes off the elimination. Scrap right behind him. And, of course, they know where Abizi is. No chance to get that retake off. Ooh, it's cool and calm from Ultra.
And Atlanta FaZe are usually really successful on retakes on this map. 90% overall, especially when they find the first blood. It's basically 100, but the setup right there for Ultra, the crossfire.
No, literal. Yo en el otro juego le metía, en el modo Warfare 2, pero cuando vi que pasé de cierto rango, olvídate. Tú sabes, pro player todo el mundo.
He knows that his teammates watching over him on the left side. Inside has the deep flank. Just a perfect post plant setup right there for Ultra to secure the round.
4-1. Atlanta have to have this. You cannot go down 5-1 against how Ultra's played to this point. And you need to do it with some conviction, if I'm being completely candid. 4-man stack over towards the B side of the map, but Ultra, realistically speaking, they're here. They're ready for this.
You see the positioning of Scrap. He's just sitting nice and sweet in towards the middle of the tank. He's just waiting for Atlanta FaZe to be aggressive up through Broken, and then it's your time to attack, but they all come to a stale. Smoke now is going to get invested, so now the pressure's here. Envoy with the first.
Oh, and Insight just laying prone, and off angle almost doubles up. A chance for FaZe to fight this back, but the bomb has been dropped. And you can see the cause for concern. FaZe is continually looking behind them, saying, is anyone on our flank? Because that's been a recipe for success for Ultra so much this map.
You're getting all the info with a great shoulder right there from Scrap, so now it's time to wrap back, play with our teammate buddy system. While Kleenex works that deep pinch, but Scrap's under fire. Scrap and Envoy, they combine to at least find one, but now it's all up to Abizi, 1v2.
And they still haven't seen Kleenex yet. You still have no idea where he's positioned. So Abizi trying to maybe isolate an individual gunfight with him, but isn't going to find the opportunity to even locate him in any regard. And look at the rotation back. Scrap is ready to move to A if he needs to. Abizi finally catches the opponent he was looking for. Quick to hop on for the plant. We're going to get extended 1v1.
This is a beautiful play from Abizi so far. Bomb is now going to get planted, but does Scrap spot him on the exit. I don't know if Abizi saw him, but the shots from Scrap, the rookie of the year last year. We know he's going to have some chirping, but you win a one-on-one versus Abizi. You now put your team at game point in the search and destroy. All the adjustments are coming in. They are just prepared every single time Atlanta FaZe are trying to attack towards B. They said that's their bread and butter bomb site. They slowly work it with about 30 seconds left. But if we shut down that B play, the only attacking round, the only round that they have a W in is when they plan it over towards A. It's been a perfect game plan so far from Toronto Ultra, now at game point.
And the thing is, it's not just been just an overall perfect game plan when Ultra is looking at this map, but they've fought off 3 first bloods from Simp to this point. So they're doing it in 3v4s. And a lot of that is, I think, just credit to the fact that they're trading so darn quickly. We talked about it a lot yesterday. FaZe is one of the hardest teams to trade in the league, but hasn't been an issue yet for Ultra.
And now they found themselves at game point. Scrap on a 4 streak. All out pressure in towards the cafe. You're going to force Abizi to back on down, but look how aggressive they are up the middle of the map.
5-1 en Search a FaZe Clan. Esto ya es una falta de respeto.
You're basically call game.
And just knowing how Sullivan plays, he's not going to work his way up A Street. He goes back to find a forward kill on towards Scrap, but the clock is ticking on this retake. 3v3. 2 players for FaZe. Still completely on the wrong side of the map. This is going to take years to develop. Ultra very comfortable on the setup, and they're feeling prepared for the flank. Now down to 26 seconds. First shot's good from Kleenex. Sip around the back, not quite able to find the trade.
Oh my God.
Just down to Cell. 1v3 situation. Oh, and it's getting nervy. 15 seconds on the clock, nowhere to go. How about your Toronto Ultra?
Ya le 5-1 le ganaron a FaZe Clan en Search. Está 2-0.
Man, oh man,
si el próximo juego lo gana Ultra, se fue FaZe para el losing bracket.
Like Atlanta FaZe. They were 11-1 in the mode. That now puts them 11-2. But if we were questioning who was the big dog in the league, everyone was saying Atlanta FaZe, undefeated, unbelievable map count. But they haven't played these guys on the opposite side. Right now, the teamwork from Toronto Ultra is top tier. Crossfires galore. Every time a trade is there, they're instantly there to find themselves on top in the engagements. To beat the way to clutch up in the map 1, but to dominate the way that they did in this map number 2, I like Ultra are one of the best control teams we have in the game as well. This potentially is going to be a 3-0.
Lights out, dude. It's one of those situations where Ultra's like, oh, FaZe, you've been cooking up on Invasion? We're coming over for dinner, and we're staying for breakfast the next morning. Invasion Control coming up next. Like we already talked about, both teams pretty much equal when it comes to how they approach Control, in particular on Invasion. But, boy, I'll tell you, the mental gymnastics that we've gotten out of Ultra to this point have to have FaZe in an absolute tizzy.
Yeah, I know everybody in the crowd, including us, we are not expecting this. When 2 Titans go at it, one is better in Hardpoint, one is better in Search and Destroy. But when you watch a VOD of they have been playing it 5 different times, you're going to get a tendency of what they start to do. And it was just a perfect game plan, like I said, from Toronto Ultra to now be up 2-0.
Makes the analysis part very easy of our jobs to this point. We'll see if things will change. FaZe down, and they're down big. Ultra, a lot of questions on if they've really been tested to this point. And, well, it doesn't matter who they face up against. Seems like at the moment, doesn't make much of a gathering distance at all. Here we go. Coming back for Control. Backside the break.
Start the season strong with the Call of Duty League Pack. Grab yourself the CDL Operator, Weapon Blueprint, and so much more. Check out the Call of Duty store in-game now.
The Painted Alebrije bundle is available now in the Call of Duty store. Inspired by the folk art of Oaxaca, this stunning bundle offers colorful, vibrant, and mythical items you gotta check out.
Bueno, si gana Face Clan o pierden, que posiblemente pierdan, a menos que hagan un milagro. Lo dudo, pero lo pueden hacer. So, va a ser el último encuentro, corillo. Después de ahí nos veremos mañana, si Dios lo permite.
The Kings in the North looking like they very well maybe putting themselves in a prime position to be Kings in the CDL to start things off. It's all Toronto to this point, and that's been just another major surprise. We had the pleasure of watching Toronto and New York play. We thought that was going to be a banger in the online series, and it was a beatdown. This one showing some similar shades.
That was the first 100-point club that we've had all season. I'm pretty sure
Ya no sé ni qué decir.
Only one club that we had, and it was Toronto.
Ya no sé ni qué decir, corillo.
The third seed going into this event. They
A Face Clan están dando por debajo el pelo. Y son uno de los favoritos, casi la mayoría de veces son los favoritos, pero ni año.
But the fact that you just beat them down the way that you did in that search and destroy, and now you're going into another respawn game where they're basically tied. They're both sitting at a 7-2 record. They're both 8-1 on the defenses. It just simply comes down to who can get more segments or who can walk away with an attacking round.
And both teams extremely proficient at being able to win offensive rounds by capture. So that will be pivotal as we spawn into invasion control. Atlanta on the opening offense, and Scrap has already graced us with a first blood at tremendous range.
Gets one across the map, but a BZ answers with the MCW in hand as well. And I see Toronto Ultra just want to maintain, make sure that Atlanta Face are not going to make anything happen.
Pero esto es control en el mismo mapa, corillo. Vamos a ver si esta gente despierta.
Yeah, the BZ playing deep means that he's got to be the first one to get taken care of as Ultra try to set up some sort of a retake. Lots of focus for Ultra through mid-map, but you can see the stuns, the nades, all trying to find where has a BZ gone. And he's still, no one has any idea where he's positioned while the second tick of progress is being worked on. There he goes, pops up, eventually taken care of, but that second tick already done and dusted.
Yeah, still Atlanta Face coming out on top in the trade, so Simp is able to stay alive, but he gets pegged in the body with the frag. It takes him down, at least a Scrap. Unfortunately, taken down inside, but at least you have some broken control. But for how long? The fact that Kleenex was able to read that play is insane to me, but Traza still stays alive. Back on the B point we go.
Yeah, good clearance coming out of Easy, able to find that elimination. This should surely be the B zone, as simultaneously Celium is able to establish a little bit of pressure towards A. Nothing to fret about yet if you're Toronto, but at least it gives Atlanta some space to come off spawn and try to work a quick transition.
Now you got 2 minutes to work with, up by 2 lives. Where they have players pushed up around that mid-map control. see Draza trying to sneak his way through back blue, but Toronto Ultra are in a crucial position right here. Very tight around this setup, around that 8 point. You need to make these gunfights worth it.
Ultra still looking for some zoning as well. The problem is Envoy getting taken down mid-map means that FaZe can very quickly try to break entry. Pistol out for Sip. Insight gives up the zone, then comes right back. Doesn't make a difference. The Renetti too strong. Sip now in. A little bit of assistance from Easy on the other side, but Scrap Envoy finding a couple of kills mean that Ultra can go to re-clear. Stunned into place. Abizi eventually dealt with, and Ultra will reclaim 16 plays 16.
That's a clean 4 dead, and they don't allow that segment to also get complete. So now you can put them in a nice little trap. Insight holding down the right street. We have made courtyard control as well. Celium does take down one, but full map control right now for the Ultra. Just gotta continue to wind down that clock. Let it keep cutting down, keep trading efficiently.
Really interesting idea here from Ultra. They've kind of given up playing around A Street, maybe just to know that FaZe likes to play this through the captured B zone. Good gunfight win from Draza. Keeps this play potentially alive. Envoy throwing out a couple of shots, but now that threat over towards A being so vacant means that Envoy's got to watch everything all at once. First shots to Celium, decent, but can't finish the kill. Now you've got 2 FaZe members in. First tick already gone. Scrap, he's able to actually walk forward and possibly contest this, but Sip and Celium finding the kills, and now the stack is good for the second tick. Third quickly on the way, and that's absolutely it. Kills still coming through, and FaZe will take our first offense.
That's a big round right there from Atlanta FaZe. You find all the kills at the right time, but I thought Toronto Ultra still had an opportunity to break it. I would have liked to see Envoy commit to that cross. You spot Celium, you get him 1 shot, but you don't spot Abizi as well. So that double stack comes in. Envoy plays a couple cutoff kills. He doesn't find that first one, and then eventually it leads to Atlanta getting a clean 4 dead. Now they have the cross watch, and they walk away with the first attack of this map.
Bit bizarre as well, I think, just kind of as the B zone was captured, Ultra shifting back over to B again, maybe just to think that FaZe were going to just default to playing for the OE, not to be this time around. So a key first offensive win comes through for Atlanta. CleanX just a single kill in the defensive effort as Ultra swapped the sides, and their early intentions are to try to work up A Street to get in early.
Yeah, they have the trophy system this time around, so going to try to maneuver their way up to the long street. They at least have 1 player in towards the point. Envoy trying to stay alive. He sets up CleanX for the second. That's already 3 dead, making all 4. Ultra said, all right, you take an attacking round, we'll do it better. We're going to take A first and then rotate over towards B. Second segment already done.
Draza going to give this a look, but he's tagged up. Third tick already through. 2 minutes and 15 seconds on the clock. FaZe just now
caramba, 2 minutos para coger la otra, papi. Ya lo cogieron esto bien rápido.
Now, if you are CleanX and Scrap, just stay
La gente no viene a fantasmear, ¿no?
Getting those spawns over towards the street side, so you have to try to go for an overextension. You don't want to wrap back and fight these players at Tractor, fight these players at Cage. You want to try to set up a couple spawn kills, and that's what they're trying to do, but Draza and Celium combined for 2. They hold strong in their first defensive hold.
Stun comes out. Abizi's position now known. 2 members for Ultra trying to hunt him out. There's the cross. Abizi gets the first. Not bad overall. Plus the trades to follow. Good news here for FaZe. Insight still existing through the middle of the map, but largely speaking, FaZe getting a good start to this defensive beat.
Yeah, and Insight's just holding this cross. He's going to allow his teammates to spin up towards the tank, get your trophies down, and slowly work your way up through the front end. But they are not finding any kills. That's another 3 dead in the feed. If you are Envoy, you got to slow it down.
Yeah.
Just make sure no one crosses up to that tank so you can allow your teammates to get out of the spawn. But Atlanta FaZe is doing a great job just holding down this setup around this B point.
I feel like anytime you see MacArthur in a position like this, he's usually good for a handful, but stops me dead in my tracks as Scrap's able to find the quick kill, and with that, Ultra now stop the clock as they jump on towards B. Draza trying to find someone to take care of, but not going to happen. It's all 4 members on, and okay, that B zone is off to the races. Second tick done, third one on the way. 2 trophies still existing, and it's done. Wow, these are some lightning.
That's just too easy for Ultra. The fact that they are knowing exactly what the game plan is. We're going to make sure we take this guy down the track. You do a great job at that. And then even when they go 3 dead, the last player up is always playing his life, and he plays it so well to allow his teammates to get back to him, and then they start the fight again. When they found those initial 2 kills, the 2 players who found the kills were the 2 trophy players. You get both of those down with only 2 players from Atlanta FaZe still alive on that side of the map. Those tacks are not going to be useful. The other 2 guys are already off spawn. The stack comes in, and Ultra respond with an attacking round.
And just the awareness in the first place to say, hey, everybody jump onto this zone. We've got the clearance to do it. Here we go. Again, right off the get-go. Atlanta already find Draza in the A zone. Celium to try to assist. No trophy system for Draza as of yet. So he's just trying to survive for as long as humanly possible. Problem is, he's just hoping his teammates can cover his cross.
Oh, and Celium unfortunately falls. So now the pressure's going to be here for Ultra. At least the team kills does come in, but that segment does not get complete at that A point. Now you're forced to hit that early rotation over towards B, but they do not have a problem with it. Abeezy with the SMG, up close and personal onto Scrap. Able to pause the clock, but you already see Simp taking ground.
Good isolation onto Envoy, slips away, turn, and takes care of Scrap cleanly. So that's going to be enough for the first tick, plus more to follow here as FaZe have full control at B. Ultra trying to win back the middle of the map, but now they run into Abeezy's SMG, finally dealt with, but it comes at a steep cost. Second tick gets locked.
JC Toronto, though, they just want to make sure they're killing everyone out of their base before they apply that pressure over towards B. They still have not yet located Draza. Finally, Scrap takes him down. So now you know, the last person who was on the point just finished capturing it. We have been map control. We can start to be aggressive up on the map. You already see Kleenex in a position. If his team can get a couple kills in a spawn trap.
Envoy opposite door of Abeezy. Help nearby though for FaZe as this transition starts to gain some momentum. 2-2 split defensively at the moment for Ultra. First one found but not collected. Envoy able to get punished, so Atlanta can still keep this forward pressure towards a big gunfight here, and as Draza drops, the last hope for FaZe to try to get onto A now would come down to Simp, and he's gonna wait.
Yeah, he's just gonna back on up. You don't want to try to be a one-man army on that A street, and eventually Kleenex sniffs him out. So already 30 seconds knocked off the game clock. Envoy next line of defense. He does get traded, but they know exactly where Atlanta FaZe are applying the pressure from. You have him in map control. You have the overextension. We know what that guy does. He's going to find a tooth. He's going to chirp a little bit. And at least it's still Atlanta FaZe coming in the back of their base.
Tons of time still remaining for FaZe, but you got to work through this deadlock play at mid at some point in time. Cell still not even bothering to play over towards Water Street as of yet, but that may be the only option here as this Ultra setup over through mid is just not getting supplanted at all. Finally, Cell makes his presence known, but Scrap deals with it swiftly. 17 plays 14, but Atlanta do get some clearance at mid.
Oh, and Atlanta finally found a couple kills as well, so you get a close spawn, but the next gunfight is crucial. Insight takes down Simp. Now the positioning of Abeezy. He's going to try to be the playmaker. Unfortunately, can't find that kill, and leads to him eventually getting it, but it's still Ultra. Knowing his positioning now, you get the trade, you're still holding on.
Trades go back and forth. Back to an 11 plays 11. 34 seconds on the clock, and there's 4 dead. Okay, now you've got Cell on to stop the clock at 33. Scrap should be able to contest this cross. Kleenex also working out a spawn, but there are a couple of members on for FaZe. First tick locked. Scrap the first one to challenge. Clears his left, and now it's just down to if he can find the FaZe members deeper into the point. Kleenex with one trade, but not the second. Follow-up coming through, though, and that'll be enough as Ultra will get the full clearance and stop the second tick.
And with only 30 seconds left, this is the last push. Sim's going to be the front runner to try to make it happen, but Scrap takes him down. Everyone's spawning all the way across the map. If you are Ultra, just sit a corner, and this round is yours.
Is there any opportunity to just gut check fly at this A zone? No kills as of yet. Stuns also making this very laborious for FaZe. Trades coming out, 5 seconds on the clock, and no one anywhere near the A point. Lives were also getting tremendously low, but huge hold from Ultra to get their first defense.
Big round from Ultra. They shut down that
Si
early
Ultra
A
gana
pressure.
el próximo
And
round,
they also give up
bye
that
bye.
B point. They do not have a problem setting up for 2 minutes around A. Every time the opening was there for Atlanta FaZe, you always found Scrap in the position. Insight cutting down that right street, and then Envoy and Kleenex through the middle of the map, just always trading efficiently. Now puts Toronto at game point, back on the attacking side, and if you are Toronto, you're down by 4 segments. That's something you have to keep in the back of your mind.
Sure, absolutely. And I think the thing is, do you just go back to what was tried and true the first round? I mean, it was with trophies, just getting on towards A early. FaZe committing a couple extra numbers this time to make sure this A defense is a bit more resound. And okay, first couple of kills pretty much put A out of the question, unless Envoy can keep things stretched together. Off spawn, though, Ultra taking their attention back over to B. Envoy still staying on the spree, now 4 in a row.
That's a big read. That's a big read right there from Envoy. Now Atlanta FaZe could not hit that early rotation over towards B, so you can stack that point. Envoy finds 3 in a row. Can't find the one for the cruise missile. So now it's Celium holding down that right street, but not for long. Great shots from Insight. There's only 1 player on the point. All the kills right now going in favor of Ultra. Insight trying to take 2 things, 2 tasks trying to get done as he works towards A as well.
And the longer he doesn't see anyone cross over towards the safe street, the more he can transmit information that, hey, keep your heads up as far as how Atlanta want to try to focus over towards B. It's Draza from behind for a double. That keeps the 3rd tick safe, and at the same time, the clock ticks down below 20 seconds.
And you see Insight on the minimap. He's just thinking someone from Atlanta FaZe has to be on this right side because his teammates are contested. They have a lot of fights over towards Brooklyn, and finally, when he makes his decision to go, Celium is ready for him. So all of Ultra in the back of the spawn, complete 2 segments over that B. And if you want that defense, you got to close this one out and work your way towards A.
Good kills from FaZe. Next hit, largely just down to Scrap make a mess of this setup, in trouble, back to the pistol, trying to stall out as long as possible. Insight behind him, Scrap now getting a bit of regen. What weapon do you want, brother? How about none of them? Tries to go to the beatdown. Ultra able to support the play, and with that, an extra 60 gets down.
And they have streak control as well. Insight in a crucial position if he can find at least one kill. Kleenex through the middle of the map. He already found 3 in a row. He's trying to assist Insight. He knows that one's on the fire truck. Gets some timing, but he still comes out on top. Now it's a bomb boy in the pinch, but he gets red off spawn. 1:22. Ultra up by 1 life. Got a couple cracks at this one.
But FaZe are kind of put with their backs against the wall here. They are fully pushed back either into the zone or backside gas. Scrap cleared out through laundry, gives FaZe a little bit of extra cushion. 1 tick needed for the Ultra defense. Otherwise, we're looking at lies if it ends up being tied. A BZ able to shut down Envoy. So the next hit immediately eliminated from Ultra.
Yeah, and I don't think Ultra in a position right now to just play for 1 tick. You're playing for a clean 4 dead so you can get the stack in. With only 50 seconds left. Every gunfight is so crucial in this moment. Information now gained, and Kleenex starts it off with the first.
40 seconds on the clock. This is actually a 4v2 in front of the zone. You've got a long cross from Draza, but if he doesn't connect, you're going to let Ultra just walk right on in. Oh, but a big follow-up gunfight for BC. Takes care of Scrap at mid. Here's Simp trying to follow up as the first tick of progress. Nearly locked in, but the nade comes through, and FaZe once again deplete.
They don't allow that segment to get away from them. Atlanta, no, we can't give up 4. We're not going to have defense. This is the final push, the final hoorah coming in from Toronto Ultra. 3 players up through the street, and Simp gives them a freebie. So now you can push right on up and get in this point if you want.
And FaZe has to rotate quickly. They were so worried about an OE play coming through that now you got 2 players from Ultra on it to beat down bash over towards the old P1. Kleenex over the top, stunned up, and the kills continue to come through for FaZe. Oh, they were getting tied. They were getting tested, but ultimately the defense looks good for the hold as the follow-up kills come through. A 7 life gap as well. And all things start to point towards FaZe continuing to play on defense as we head to around 5.
And Atlanta FaZe end this round on a 17 streak.
FaZe no quiere
Some players potentially
perder.
earning towards some cruise missiles into this round number 5, but you already did what you needed to do on your attacking side. Beat them in the segment column. Now you have that defense going into round 5. You just can't go 4 dead right off the rip.
Yeah.
That's when Toronto Ultra had that success early on. They got a clean 4 dead. They stacked every player on that side of the map, and then you spawn all the way across the map at Treehouse. You stand no chance. So it's all about the initial fights. You have to clutch up on these if you are Atlanta.
Keep in mind the Toronto Ultra offense has pretty much fully focused off the get-go towards either A or at worst trying to control mid.
Yeah.
So does FaZe change their break off trying to match that, or do they trust what they've already baked up for this particular match? If it doesn't work, they're down in the lower bracket to get a rematch versus Optic, and here comes Ultra. All 4 purple arrows looking over towards the A side of the map. First kill, good. Is there a follow-up? BZ's kind of stuck. He has to take gunfights. He gets stunned up. Inside, a little bit of damage comes through, but Kleenex finds the kill, and Ultra are going to find entry day.
And Draza can't peek right now. He only has 1 HP, so you don't want to give up your life for free. You're going to allow Ultra to get on in, but you have to clutch up in these fights. Trades are there, but it's still Ultra coming out on top. First segment about to be complete.
BZ from laundry side. Cell clears things out a little bit. Here comes the double hit from the front, and Cell will clean things up completely. Off the respawn, Ultra will step foot over towards B, so still a lot of time on the clock, but FaZe have done their first job of making sure A stays safe.
Oh, that's a big kill right there from Cellium, because Kleenex, he was just trying to be a nuisance around Cafe. But now you know, everybody from Toronto Ultra have to commit over towards B. They're spawning on that side of the map. They get the initial 2 kills. First segment about to be complete, but at the same time, Cellium ended that last round on a 3. He now finds himself on a 7 with the cruise missile in the back pocket.
Huge defensive advantage for FaZe, who look like they actually want to try to get this a go, and all the kills on the rebuttal. Absolutely perfect. The Carther now on 9 in a row, looking for double digits as now the spawn trap starts to become a problem for Ultra.
This is just one of those maps. This is one of those maps for Cellium. 30 and 14. Trying to extend that kill streak up to 10. Right now, Ultra are so trapped. Every single angle from Atlanta FaZe is being watched. They got them in the blender. Nades are going to hit Sip, but you still don't find the kill, and there's only 35 seconds left. You got to get out.
It feels terrible for Ultra. Absolutely miserable trying to work their way out of spawn as Atlanta continue to build up streaks across the board. You want to talk about a tone reset? We got it right here in round number 5. Ultra sitting in the palace. Nowhere to go. Not a single kill to speak of. It's absolutely perfect from Atlanta. 13 seconds. Last attempt for Ultra would have to be over towards B, and they're just simply not finding any kills. 7th streak for Draza, 7th streak for Simp, double digits for MC. We're going to see a 4th map, friends.
That was literally just 24
Ya,
kills in a
Face
row.
Clan dijo, papi, yo no voy a quedarme en
Atlanta
cero,
FaZe had multiple
¿oíste?
players in the right position, but once you get put in that trap, they did not give you any breathing room. They clutched up on the attack by gaining more segments. But then when you have your ARs posted up, Draza really turned up that map alongside Celium. They just shut down those lanes, and they stay alive in this series a little longer.
Dirty stuff in that round 5 defense. And for a moment there, right at the get-go, it looked like Ultra was going to get away with murder again over towards A. But Celium doesn't just end himself on a huge streak. He was also the culprit for shutting down that Ultra hit at A. So doing it all at the last moment when needed for Celium. 31 and 14, 5,500 damage. Sip gets nearly 7K. God, put a leash on this guy.
That's what I was looking at. 7K damage. He's sitting at 26 and 26. That guy is always putting down shots, peppering, putting down making everybody one shot so his teammates find a couple freebies, and that's what sets up Celium to be who he is. Get those free kills, post up on a head glitch, end the game on a 10 streak, and then Draza holding down that B point as well. Just put them in a trap. Atlanta FaZe now stay alive in this series, but the only thing that really scares me now is the next map that they're playing, and that's Subbase, because Toronto Ultra, they have been beating teams down by a maximum 80 to 90 points every single time they spawn in on Subbase.
Yeah, it's definitely not fun to look at on paper, but I think the thing that really we walk away with here after a lot of great successful offenses again here from our top teams on Invasion is the fact that going to round 5, knowing that Ultra are putting all this preference over towards A, you don't really change anything too dramatically. You're trusting the process, you're putting yourself in good spots, and you know that individually as well as cohesively between your teammates, you can deal with what Ultra's putting together. That same mentality though, Jay, has to be there when it comes to Subbase based on how they played Optic, because it really didn't feel like it was.
It has to be in hard points in general. We're talking about map number 1. It was so back and forth, but the turning point of the game is when Ultra decided to play fundamentally correct. They gain a good 40, and then they hit that rotation, they gain a 60 right on back, and for Atlanta FaZe, we saw it on full display yesterday versus Optic. They were just consistently playing from the back foot. There's 4 out of 5 hills that you want to try to hold top 3 story. That's that side of the map. When you're forced to every single time off spawn, when you're spawning back P4 towards the backside of comms and overextend, it's just wasting a lot of time. And you have to make sure if you are Atlanta FaZe, you are playing those fundamentals, because we already know what inside does. If they're spawning on the bad side, we're going right up long. We're playing to flip the spawns immediately.
And that's the thing, is we kind of had the same build up for when Optic was obviously selecting this map when they played the last time around, but FaZe were still being beat on rotation. And on top of that, even when they are finding ways to win at rotation, their hold percentage isn't particularly great either. So that's got to be the key change, I think, from watching them play Optic on this map yesterday to how they approach it today. Trust your rotations, do a little bit of extra reassurance of what our setups are, and believe in that.
Because if you're winning those rotations, you're putting your ARs in the most best positions you possibly can. Talk about top 3. Top Snow was such a crucial position for either Celium or Draza to try to dominate. But don't forget, on a map like Subbase 2, Simp also pulls out that third AR. It's alongside of BZ in certain situations. So it's going to be all about the AR presence on a map like Sub.
And I know we were talking about this with FaZe. It's like, hey, this was a great kind of curveball out of Optic. You're forcing the SMGs to have to swap to the MCW. But really, all things told, both Simp and BZ looked good with MCWs yesterday. Just come down to a couple of decisions weren't fully fleshed out. So that, I am sure, was looked at, learned, and hopefully for FaZe fans will show up immediately as we get ready to go for this Subbase. But again, it's still, as much as it feels weird to say, these hard points are David and Goliath stories with how much Ultra have beat down everybody in the league, no matter the map.
And I think the matchup that I'm really looking forward to is the matchup that was dominated on one side of map number 1. That's between Scrap and Draza. We know both of those guys are going to be chirping across stage, but Scrap got the better of him in map number 1 because Draza was late to a couple rotations. But you played the map yesterday. It's freshly in your mind of how you lost it. You do the things right. By just being the team on the preferred side, you will be able to force a game 5.
On the other side, can you stop this man?
Oh my God.
They were able to stop him on map number 1. Keep in mind that 4.17 came by way of a skid row. So this isn't exactly 1-for-1, but still, that number is stupid. 4.17, unreal. 21 to 25 non-traded. It's just gross, filthy. Put that away. There are children present. Here we go.
No es por nada, pero este hard point se va a dar bien duro.
Trying to find their way collectively through the water side, and like you mentioned, this is all about side swapping.
And they're starting off on the bad side as well. Nothing of the frags is going to be able to connect onto the player on point, but look at the setup from Ultra. They know exactly where they're coming from. You have inside already pushed out towards P5. Everyone else watching over comm side. You have long street. You have bottom comms as well. That's already 3 dead in the feed for Atlanta. Last player up is Celium, but it's still Ultra soaking the time.
At least for FaZe, this keeps numbers a bit more limited. You have a chance maybe off this rebuttal to find some more success, as here comes the hit from Draza right around the back. With Scrap not able to get away, and good assistance from Easy. So the break of the hard point good, and keep your eye on the bottom side of the minimap. FaZe finding success.
Esa zona es la del medio. Esa zona es bien mala.
Right there was CleanX finds that kill at that moment. When you get that kill, your teammates are now going to continue to spawn in towards the back end, and now they have the man advantage off the rotation. It's just about these fights, and that's Toronto coming out on top. Abizi, the sole man here to try to make something happen. He gets sniffed out, but now you're one shot. No trophy systems are going to be here to help him. So they're going to push him out, be aggressive. Toronto Ultra maintaining the spawns for now.
Decent trades, though. FaZe still right at the front doors. Trophy system earned. Draza doesn't quite get it through the window, but doesn't make a difference with the MCW shooting as straight as that. Scrap trying to mantle over the top. Not going to work out. Draza doing it all himself until CleanX has something to say, and he's going to say it not once, but twice. Abizi, backside pitch, trying to get in, threw it himself, but no. Ultra will hold, and now that first scoreboard series looking dangerous.
And this is some good time right here. You already have Scrap in its position towards top snow. He does get cut down, so you have an opening for Atlanta to get out. But you see on your minimap, Simp working up through the cat room. If he can find a couple kills, if they can find these kills right now, you will be able to flip those spawns. They read the flip from Scrap, but now it's a 2v3 and towards the hill. CleanX makes another one happen. He's on a 5.
Oh, make it 6. Cruise missile hurt. I mean, come on. Quick snap. Now off the regen. 1v1, not one. But Abizi will finally put him to rest. Looking over towards Sub. Good kills early here from FaZe. But boy, I'll tell you, they need something. They need something quick.
And the good thing right now, if you are Ultra, CleanX was able to earn that cruise missile. So that could be the factor to why you decide to go for a break, but the guns are even hotter. They find the kill. Scrap with the beamer. All 4 dead. Atlanta FaZe again forced to hit up this long street, but it's Ultra winning the fights at the right time, putting themselves on a preferred side and gaining this clock.
I mean, this has been stressful in all regards for FaZe to this point, and it's not looking good on the scoreboard. 75-14, and we still got 25 seconds left. Envoy's already rotating to new. I mean, have your cake and eat it too if you're Ultra.
They're just a step ahead right now. There are multiple steps ahead so far on this map. But you see, with only 15 seconds remaining on ult, the rest of Toronto Ultra slowly trying to work their way to set up a potential pinch. Envoy starts it off with the first. Where is Abizi now going to spawn? He should spawn over towards the P2 side. He's actually going to get the calm spawn, so he's able to reinforce quickly. But you see the route from Envoy, a little water boy. So he's trying to get this kill onto Sim to set up the pinch.
Sees a noggin, will take care of it, and then the turtle! Celium, oh my! Inside, in the hard point, Renetti out, and the help from CleanX is so darn good. 4 in a row now for Envoy, and already past the 100-point mark, go Ultra.
And this is the only hill that you prefer the back spawns, at least initially. And if you are Toronto Ultra, you're chained up with those kills, and you flip them right on back. Now it's time to be aggressive up through the middle of the map. Scrap with the beamer across it. Ultra already find themselves up by 100.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Hard point that needs no words. Exhibit A. Oh my goodness. 11-5 from CleanX. I mean, it's just every way you look at it, it's not been good for Atlanta. Moment here to try to just stabilize, take a breath, cauterize the wound. Let's get this thing back under grip.
You just have to win a fight.
Something.
Right now, Toronto Ultra, they're getting it all done through the middle of the map, and this is where you get CleanX to get the info with that cruise missile. You have to stay inside doors. He at least finds one onto Simp, but the hill's white. That's the best case scenario right now for Ultra because they're spawning on the bad side.
I mean, when you're calling in cruise missiles up 110 points, that's like nail, meat, coffin. Celium battling back, and battling back stiffly. 4 in a row for him. Looking for 5, but Scrap matches with a double of his own. Atlanta in the hard point for the time being, but Ultra coming off. They're just not losing gunfights. I mean, it's getting ridiculous.
Ya la FaZe Clan le están dando hasta, pero...
Right through the road. Every single time they're thinking one player's from that position, no, Ultra already setting up pinches. They're thinking a step ahead, and they already flipped the spawns as well. As we go into the second half of the rotation, they are not losing any fights. Even the team shots are on point. Everything right now for Toronto Ultra is picture perfect.
Scrap time going to be earned over to new. Numbers aren't even comfortable enough for FaZe to jump immediately into the hard point. Still work to be done in terms of clearing out the space needed to get any sort of a setup. You're on the wrong side of the map. I mean, it's a laundry list of things that would have to go right here for FaZe to even consider the word comeback.
They just don't have any power positions. Top snow is currently held right now by Toronto Ultra. Top 3 is held by Toronto Ultra. The preferred side of the map is held by Toronto Ultra. And it's been like that the entirety of this map number 4. Trades are abound, but finally Atlanta FaZe have some breathing room. Toronto Ultra in a position now with only 30 seconds left. We can chalk this P1. We need to make sure no one overextends behind us, but also make sure no one comes through the front. And with only 3 players left on that side of the map, they still have those spawns. You just got to maintain them now.
Lots of time to be earned here for FaZe. This will bring it back to just inside a 100-point margin, but here come Ultra, just not giving up anything. The follow-up gunfight's absolutely flawless once again. Simp in trouble, immediately dealt with, selling him the last one alive, and he's able to at least deal some damage, but I mean, it's just Ultra are giving FaZe absolutely nothing. It's abusive at this point, and right back up to triple-digit deficits as Ultra own rotation.
We just said it last week, like, they just a 100-point club in New York. This might be even better versus one of the better teams that we have in the CDL because Atlanta FaZe simply cannot get out. It's already 15 seconds uncontested, but finally Atlanta get a couple kills in their favor. Teammates are going to help, but at least the spawns do flip. They find a trade on the Envoy, and finally Atlanta, you get some good time off of this P2.
Got to string together these 2 hard points just to give yourself something to work with. Flat out, just has to happen. Kleenex, what? Are you kidding me? Still able to fight.
It can't be that easy.
Double. Cell confirms the trade, but like you said, it's just too simple. And I'll tell you, MC's doing what he can to kind of keep FaZe in this game, but I say that with so much hesitancy because they're still not in this game.
They're still not in it. Toronto Ultra every single time. They are here for the trades. It's no one-on-one gunfights. They are playing as a unit. That's what finds himself up by 100 points and still. But off the rotation, you see Ultra, they have 1 player spawning all the way across the map, but this is a hill that's very difficult to get time if you have 3-story the way Kleenex is holding it down.
Selling him down in the back, also the scene toward Simp. Oh my goodness. Draza, mid-map, just hoping, praying he can get away with something he shouldn't, and maybe he just has. Double kill comes through. Kleenex does confirm the trade, but an opportunity for FaZe to make a bit of a mess of this setup from Ultra's perspective. 180 playing 74, and the hit still has to largely still come from the front.
Yeah, you still have the back spawns if you are Ultra, so no sweat off the brow. We just have to clutch them on these next couple of fights, and they're already coming out on top in the trade. Make it 3, all 4 dead. Kleenex had himself, what, a 4.17 on a different map like Skid Row, but 20 and 13, already a cruise missile earned, and potentially a chance for another.
Se jodió
Gonna
FaZe.
reach that 200-point mark, and if they find a break on this P4, it's basically GG.
It is just chess playing checkers right now. Ultra are sitting, waiting to see if FaZe are going to get aggressive on their setup. That doesn't happen, so now here we go. Heavy-handed push around the back. It's just trying to pick FaZe apart little by little. It's just so clinical. One nade will tag Celium, follows up with a double, so okay. Again, another moment for small breaths here for FaZe as they get their lockdown over towards tunnel.
And they have Draza being the player through the middle of the map, watching that cross, but he only's able to take down 1. Now Ultra have the opportunity. Let's spam our nades, let's spam our stuns right through the front, blow up these trophy systems, and allow the Kleenex to slide right on in. That's exactly what he's going to do. He does fall in the crossfire, and it's still Atlanta FaZe holding on. They breach that 100-point mark, make it 3 dead, 4 dead in the feed.
Okay. Here we go. Maybe a chance. FaZe would still have to win this rotation, and Ultra already pressing the issue through warehouse side. Simp will get every second because I'll tell you, every single second's needed. Good follow-ups here from FaZe. Scrap not being traded out initially, but eventually taken down. And we're going to have a 50-50 battle for P5.
And this is big kills from Atlanta FaZe because you can apply the pressure to this new hill from the front. They were winning all those clutch gunfights at the player source top snow, to the player source top warehouse, but you still have to contest this hill, not give up this time to Toronto Ultra. Only 30 seconds left. You see it, Beezy. He's trying to go for a route. He's trying to be the playmaker.
Need to find an opening, and you need to find it quickly. That could do it. Envoy taken care of. Draws it back over towards top office. Scrap there to meet him. Trades across the middle of the map.
Yo no voy a decir nada, Corillo, pero en verdad, diablo, le dieron en la madre a FaZe. GG. GG, Corillo. GG.
245 to 128. Put him to bed. Head to the grand finals.
GG, Corillo. Vete pa'l carajo. A FaZe Clan lo cogieron, papi. Le quitaron los pantalones y le dieron un clase de correa. 3-1. Iba a ser 3-0, pero 3-1. Por lo menos. No se fueron en 2. Diablo. GG. Pero nada, mis amores, los dejo, Corillo. Voy a descansar. Bonito trabajo. Mañana nos vemos por ahí, si Dios lo permite. Gracias por el apoyo. Nada, Corillo. Se les quiere. GG, mi gente.